A night in with MauLer and the drinker, getting trashed with the web screen thinkers. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop off the cork, have a glass of wine, plus they'll say I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, MauLer and the critical drinker.
All right, hello everyone. Hail,
Hello.
welcome back. We are
Welcome
back for
indeed.
Open Bar number 87. It's me and it's MauLer, and we are here. Hello to you guys. And
Right on time.
yes, exactly on time, not an hour late or early. I know everyone's confused by daylight savings time, and we were as well because nobody told us it was happening, and it hasn't happened here in the proper place, the UK.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen here for a couple of
Where
weeks.
time
so...
began.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh.
We invented time. Well, Jennifer Lawrence was the first woman to invent time, but we stepped in and took advantage of it, and used it properly.
We thank her every day for that. It's just that she's caused some issues with how she developed it over time in different areas of the world. This daylight savings. Apparently, it could be to do with farmers. So fuck them, I guess. They ruined everything just to plant more things. Ridiculous.
Screw you, farmers. And I appreciate you, MauLer, always dropping in a swear word right at the beginning of the stream.
I always forget.
You just love the fact that I have to go back and edit that out with the
Those farmers, man. What am I supposed to do? Like they put me in a position. I don't know.
Those gosh darn farmers. It was Benjamin Franklin we discovered who invented it. So
yeah, we uncovered the secret. We had this whole arc. There's going to be a movie about it. It's a buddy cop movie where we go and discover who invented daylight saving times. We're going to go kill him. And then we're like, we can't kill George Washington or whatever. That's going to be awkward.
Yeah, well, we won't kill him, but Benjamin Franklin, we can lose him. What did he ever invent? Nothing important.
All of them, I meant, just wipe them out. That whole America thing was a mistake. So
we should be in charge again. Oh, by the way, back by popular demand, we have both of the critical doggos. You can kind of see that one there. That's Lara, and then Smokey's dead over there.
Very comfortably sleeping.
He's having a great old time. He's doing what he does best. He actually, just yesterday, he had to go to the vets and get a whole bunch of teeth taken out. Big operation for him, unfortunately. So he was in most of the day. So he's been a bit quiet, and he's just resting up and recovering now. But he's doing all right. Well, yeah. I think greyhounds are a bit prone to that sort of thing, unfortunately. So yeah, it had to get done. But yeah, he'll be okay.
To slightly seriously address the daylight savings thing, it'll be back to normal in 2 weeks or something.
Yeah. Yeah, our clocks go forwards right at the end of the month, like the last Sunday of the month, I think.
Yes.
Check me out, time man. Just knowing things like this. Yeah.
Do you have like a watch, dude?
I've got the knowledge, and I've got this.
Oh my God! Look at
portable timepiece. Look at that! I can wear it on my wrist.
It is time.
Wait, we should probably bring other people in as well. I mean, much as I would like to talk about daylight savings time for the next 3 hours.
All right, I'll
we could
allow
do
it.
that. Should we just kick the rest of the guests and we'll just do that? That'll be our.
We can ask them who they want to go back in time and assassinate, I guess.
The Drinkers Daylight Saving Stream. Okay, cool. Well, we've got a panel of winners and losers tonight, and the first up is a loser of the blue collar kind.
Thanks,
it
man.
says. Good to have you back, man. We have spent quite a few hours actually talking about Masters of the Air over on Lance's stream each Sunday. So
it's a show.
It is a show, yeah. It's become a thing. And it used to be us praising the hell out of that show and really enjoying it. And then it's devolved to, oh my God, I can't believe it's turned into this garbage. What happened?
I know. Well, good thing is one more episode to go and we're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
We're almost there.
Yeah, MauLer, it's going to be, if you would have a fun time dissecting, boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's expensive. They spent $250 million on it. That's something.
Well, yeah, that's a plus.
We went through the kind of arc that a lot of Star Wars fans went through. It was great at first. We were loving it. Then there was a few cracks starting to appear, but we convinced ourselves it didn't matter that much and it was still fundamentally good. And then it just got to the point where we thought, this is actually shit. Wow.
Well, this
How
time,
quickly that happened.
this time I bought some Jack for you because the first time I bought Clan McGregor, figuring you're from Scotland, you never heard of it. I'm like, really? So you heard of this, right, Jack Honey?
I believe I'm familiar with this. Yes. Yeah, the honey jack's a little sweet for my taste, but you bash
Coke,
on, sir.
I got Coke Zero. It evens out.
Ah, okay, cool. Yeah. I'm starting off on beer, so.
Oh God.
Anyway, next guest. It's Frank Gore, or it could be Chris. Depends how much booze he's had in him this evening. It is the one and only Chris Gore from Film Threats.
Hey,
Oh, you got something very classy looking there.
yeah, I have water because I'm gonna start drinking later.
God.
I thought you were on the gin or something.
No, I wish. I'm more of a vodka guy because I can just like drink those like water for the most part. So
Yeah.
my body acts as a
True.
filtration system, like a still suit but for booze. So
100% efficiency, man. The booze just keeps getting recycled through you. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, drinking.
yeah.
Did you see what he did to that Dune 2 cup? I watched it. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I was able to get some of the buckets. Now they're like going for $100 on eBay.
I couldn't find one.
Yeah.
I'm not paying
They're gone. They're all gone.
$200 for a bucket.
Yeah,
No.
true. I wouldn't either.
It's
Oh,
just, especially if you got it on eBay, like you have no idea what that's been used for.
True.
But I'm pretty sure it's unsavory.
Yeah, 100%. But no, glad to be here. Excited to talk to you about the Oscars.
Yay! Woo!
I can just hear the enthusiasm and
I
everyone's
want to
voice.
talk about the Oscars, and I want to talk about racism in gaming, Chris, because that's one of the pressing issues of our time.
Oh man.
Oh boy, oh boy.
But don't worry, we'll get there. We got some lovely articles from IGN that's going to clue us in. But anyway, before we do that, we should bring in our final guest. He is our own personal race car driver. He is CAMELOT. And as I was saying earlier, I've spoken to you. Well, it's been at least 24 hours since we hung out, so it's good to be back again. You know,
and I'm
I was
no
on your
less
stream last night.
no less stressed than I was. I'm more stressed, I think, now.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to get stuff ironed out for racing, and luckily we have our next couple deals finalized and released officially, so everybody can see it online. But yeah, but the rest of the year is still kind of up in the air, and I can't sleep. You know what I did last night, Drinker? I went and laid in my guest room because it gets real dark in there, and I turned on Dune 1 because it's so like sleepy, just so I could fall asleep.
Yeah.
And I watched the whole damn thing. I was like, oh,
Damn.
God. They're like walking off into the distance in the desert, and I'm like, man, why am I not asleep yet? It's pretty sad. So
I mean, I don't know how Villeneuve would take that, really, that you put on his movie specifically to make you pass out from boredom, and then you couldn't pass out because it was apparently too interesting for that. So I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged sword, really, isn't it?
yeah, apparently. It's a great film, though. I like it, but I feel like it's more of a vessel for the second film. It's like a vessel to get to the second film. Which
It's like a 3-hour intro.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
the world. But, yeah.
I preferred the first one.
What?
That's just me.
Wait, hold on. You not realize how many worms were in the second one? It's like
There were worms in the second one. That's true.
Yeah.
all that. It was like a worm every 2 seconds in the second one, and that's the whole reason I like Dune is because worms, right?
Yeah,
Big-
I like
you
big
definitely
one?
like the worms, yeah.
Yeah.
All about riding the sandworms.
Yeah, and you only get to see Zendaya's like shoulder, but still, at least it was better than the first movie. So
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I mean, well, you got to see a nuke go off as well, and that's always fun.
that was
so.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but part 1 didn't have Austin Butler.
This is true, yeah. A very
That's
weird
just
looking
true,
Austin
yeah.
Butler.
I thought, what's strange, and I don't know if anybody else made this mistake. I was not up on the Dune game when I went and saw the second one. When I went up to Tim Pool's compound, they were like, "We're watching the second Dune," and I'm like, "Oh fuck, I haven't seen the first one." So I thought I hadn't researched anything about Dune, and I thought for a moment that character was played by Skarsgård, like Peter Skarsgård, the one that plays Pennywise. I thought for a second that was the Pennywise guy.
Oh, you mean Bill?
It does
No,
look a bit like
there's
him.
too many. Look, there's too many Skarsgårds.
There's a lot of
Maybe.
Skarsgårds in Hollywood now. Yeah, when
They're
he's
all
got
really good though.
yeah, they're
True.
quite the dynasty of actors. They're like the Baldwins, but actually good at what they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like
Yeah.
when you have someone in so much makeup and like their shaved head and everything, I guess it like makes them look quite generic, and one person can look quite similar to another. But yeah, he's got that slight weird look about him.
Yeah,
I
but
get
I
where
mean,
you're coming from.
To be fair, there was a Skarsgård. It was just the old ass one,
Yeah.
and he's good. At
The best Skarsgård.
the best. Oh my gosh, dude!
True.
Look, I know people hate Pirates 3 and whatnot. God, I love that shit.
I don't think anyone hates the Pirates films for any of the actors, though, right? It's
That's
the
true. Yeah,
weird
That's true.
plot lines and
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, even when I compare Pirates 3 to 4 and 5, yeah, it's pretty good in comparison.
To be fair, I love Penelope Cruz, so I'm kind of biased. Even though I
Yeah.
still think it's the worst one, I love Penelope Cruz, and then I really love old Bardem, Javier.
Javier.
Bardem.
Javier, yeah.
Dude, that's the entire reason why I watched the fifth one.
He was
It's
a good villain.
Salazar.
Yeah, dude. God, give me.
Yeah.
Man, plus we had undead sharks too. Remember that?
Oh yeah, dude. Zombie
Yeah.
sharks. Yeah.
With lasers on their heads.
We know what we like here, okay? So it's undead zombie sharks.
However, zombie sharks aside, I should say that we were going to talk first about the Oscars, which was on this week. Not that anyone would know about it, because it seems to have come and went like without making barely a ripple.
Sounds like me.
Indeed, yeah. But, well, we got the viewing figures in for it, first of all. And
Really?
according to this, they were up 4% on the previous year, which was apparently considered quite the disappointment because they expected a big boost from Oppenheimer winning basically everything. So 19.5 million Americans tuned into it, making it the most popular Oscar since 2020, which is hardly surprising considering it was basically shut down then. But it's actually down in the key demographic, the 18 to 49 range, which is bad news.
Shocking. Can't believe it.
Yeah, but I think, you know, and I've commented on this before, the thing that really stood out for me about this was how low-key it all felt and how subdued it was, how tame it was, how non-political it was. There was nobody making these big bombastic speeches, trying to score political brownie points. It all felt like everyone was on notice.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you've been caught by your boss doing something fucking stupid, and you know, I'm watching you. You better keep your head down. And that's what they were like. You know, they felt very chastised. That's the impression I got from it, anyway.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. The only thing anybody was talking about was Cena, you know, doing his humiliation ritual, and I think it would have been even bigger if it was Sweeney. She should.
Well, I mean,
I said that, yeah.
dear
I
God,
would,
man.
could you
Everyone
imagine
would
the
love
ratings?
that.
Could you imagine the ratings? It set records all over the planet.
Mhm.
Man, I'd have watched it like 9 times at least. So,
I think it would have said, well, you would have watched that clip, not the entire Oscars.
Oh, yeah.
Drinker,
I
I'm
think it
willing
was-
to make the sacrifice of watching the Oscars for something like that, okay? Like,
Yeah.
I'll do my part.
Yes.
I'm doing my part. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I guess it's almost remarkable in the sense that it was completely unremarkable.
Yeah.
You know, that there wasn't any big controversy, there wasn't any big posturing or big controversial speeches. It was all very sedate, very safe. Jimmy Kimmel hosting for like the 500th time, just a safe pair of hands, making tame jokes. Yeah, the only thing that he seemed to lose his shit over was Donald Trump making fun of him, and he just had to bite back. You know,
Got to
Can't
take
help-
the bait. You got to take the bait and have the last laugh. He's like a woman. That's what it is.
I like that one clip where Emma Stone called him a prick under her breath.
beast.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Well, I think-
that's what you expect when you watch these things. Is you expect, you know, whichever actor that's predicted to win goes up and then talks about climate change for the 37th year in a row, and you just didn't have any of that, which is kind of, I guess, refreshing. I mean, I'm not going to watch it anyway, like in the future, unless Sweeney's taking her top off. But still, it's kind of nice to not have that preachy. I live in my $8 million LA mansion, but I'm trying to tell you how to live your life. You're struggling paycheck to paycheck. When you don't actually have that, I feel like it makes it a decent experience to witness.
I think they very much realize that stuff doesn't fly anymore.
Yep.
I'm
Sorry,
just
Chris.
surprised it's this many days later and we're still talking about the Oscars. It was so unremarkable. It was flat. They need to not have Jimmy Kimmel. He's just not one. He's not funny. He's a corporate shill pushing whatever the agenda is that they want out there from the mainstream media. I was a fan of Jimmy Kimmel when he did the Man Show. It was a great show.
I have to ask Chris about that.
Girls jumping on trampolines was the end credits of every episode, and they let the audience drink beer. Oddly, I did a show on the same lot where they filmed it. And I really wish I was working on that show. I worked on a show which was a ripoff of it called The X Show, but I like Jimmy Kimmel then. I think Adam Carolla's gone on to have in my opinion, the better career. He's more true to himself. But wow, what a colossal waste. John Mulaney was much better. He actually hosted the Governor's Ball. There's a 12-minute John Mulaney. He actually said a couple funny jokes when he talked about sound, and he made a Madam Web reference. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was good. Mulaney's genuinely funny, but they got to get someone they need someone like a Ricky Gervais or a Dave Chappelle or a John Mulaney, or just someone who's an unsafe choice where things could go off the rails. The best part of the Oscars is when something goes wrong, or off the rails, or an authentic moment, not some pre-scripted banter between two people where they're trying to force jokes. And they're not funny people. They're actors for the most part. So I don't know. It was, the lack of politics was good. A lot of that was all on the red carpet. Frickin' Mark Ruffalo with his little baby heart I thought that was just sort of annoying. But Mark Ruffalo is just sort of the embodiment of celebrity annoying. So
yeah.
I think if you got him and Mark Hamill in the same room together,
God.
like the entire building would just implode from the sheer narcissism of it.
They would end up just having sex to prove how much of an ally they are. So it'd be awful because they're both withering away and gross looking. So,
but I think overall, look, the big story is just no one cares about award shows. No one cares about them. Just as a platform, it's almost like formats for entertainment that went out of favor, vaudeville, or drive-in movie theaters, which numbered 6,000 at one time in the United States, now number about 300. I personally love drive-ins, but it's a passing thing. So I think award shows are that, and late night TV is that. And you combined a late night TV guy with a format that people don't care about. I mean, those typical sitcoms with the laugh tracks and stuff, that's just that doesn't land with people. The Office changed that. I'm talking about the Ricky Gervais version of The Office, which was brilliance, right? And they did a kind of, they, to their credit, Michael Scott, the American version was pretty good, but it was different than the British version, which was fine.
Yeah, very much so.
It's a dead format. And just as someone I don't even know if any of you knew this. I do an award show every year. That's an event for indie filmmakers. It's in December, and I've been doing it for 5 years. We have a red carpet. We have a step and repeat, if you know what that is. We actually print up awards. So I, more than anyone, know what total BS and the contrived nature of an award show. It's something I made up. It's literally something I made up, and it's something that they made up. Effectively, the point is to promote these movies to people who haven't seen them yet, to give these films a life, whatever. But awards are a made up thing. And I think the way that Hollywood's gone about this award show is just, it's bad. I was watching old clips from old award shows. It was unbelievable. It was more like the Globes because the celebrities were trashed and they were roasting each other. It was awesome. What we've been getting now is a sanitized version of a dead format. That's what the Oscars are.
Well, it's, I think social media ultimately killed the appeal of both movie stars and awards ceremonies because it used to be, like you say, you would see them in an unscripted environment and all of them together, like celebrities that you'd never seen in the same film or whatever. They were there in the same room interacting with each other, and it was unscripted and anything could happen. And like you say, a lot of them were trashed on all that free champagne. And you got a lot of interesting, funny moments as a result. You got to see the human side of them. The problem is with social media over the past 10, 15 years, we have seen the human side of them, and it's awful. And we don't want to see that anymore. So
it's an
the
overdose.
appeal of seeing them in this environment doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. It's social media was an overdose. And when you used to see them, it was like this once in a year event. And they were laughing and kind of being themselves, I guess for the cameras. But when on social media, you give people way too much access and they say the dumbest shit. I don't care. I've never really cared about what celebrity said, but you would only hear it once a year. We have an overdose now where Mark Ruffalo is mourning old Rosenbaum after he got justifiably shot in the face. And he was like, I'm mourning this man, poor little JoJo. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And everybody's like, do you even know who this guy is? What are you doing? And then all the celebrities are almost in unison, like they have the same PR firm, all tweeting the same shit. And everybody's like, you know what? I hate this guy now. And it's hard because I still love Mark Hamill's work. He's one of the only celebrities that I can still like. I can still play Batman Arkham Asylum and be like, God, man, this dude's fantastic in this role. And but God, I cannot. It's the same thing with Stephen King. I just want to slap that dude every time I see his goofy little profile picture scroll by. I just want to slap him.
Yeah.
But I love Pet Cemetery. Can't help it.
Yeah. I just
I mean, guys like that are like bad take factories on social media. Even now, like I saw Mark Hamill in House of Usher. Loved his portrayal.
Yeah,
did a great job.
Yeah, I recently just beat Arkham Knight. Joker's fantastic, but then of course Mark Hamill on Thanksgiving, he's tweeting about an Orange Man. It's like, dude, it's Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving Day, you're tweeting about Trump. Like,
it's all right. Like literally every tweet that Mark Hamill puts out, Gary will be there with a joke about his granddaughter.
That's it every time.
Never misses it.
Every single time.
He must have Google notifications on or something. Like Mark Hamill's tweeted, I need to get in there. But like with the results of the Oscars, like as I was just saying there, it again, much like the presentation, much like the speeches, the hosting, again, it was all safe choices. Oppenheimer pretty much cleared up. Barbie got basically nothing. And it's like that was the logical choice. Yeah, you could probably have given a few Oscars out for what's it called? The one with the Martin Scorsese one. Fucking name always.
Those are the Flower Moon.
That's it. Yeah, it's like it takes about 5 minutes to say it.
Yeah.
It probably could have realistically got a few awards there, but like Oppenheimer was the sensible choice. Mainstream appeal, big all-star cast. Everyone seemed to love it, so it got all the Oscars.
Yeah,
safe.
Did well at the box office too.
Exactly. Yeah. A safe mainstream choice.
100%.
It's good to see, I suppose. It's just, I guess it's again a reflection of their lack of confidence in themselves and the public perception of them. Because I feel like they would have loved to have picked some obscure movie that was made by someone who ticked all the diversity boxes so that they can trumpet how progressive they are. And they didn't, because they probably felt like they couldn't get away with it this year.
You mean like Moonlight? That's the movie you just described.
Yeah.
Which, you look at a lot of these Oscar winners and do they really, I really think time is the best barometer for if a movie resonates into the future. Are we still going to be talking about some of these movies into the future? We're not, that's my fun question. I always like to ask people is what won Best Picture 2 years ago? You can kind of remember 1 year ago. No one can remember 2 years ago. The chat will know because the chat knows everything. But yeah, no, they've just become irrelevant. Like a lot of things about mainstream entertainment have become less and less relevant. And just as a cinema fan, it's sad to see. And right, Gordon says it, Godzilla -1, not nominated is disgraceful for foreign movie. Well, that was the choice of the country made that choice, but it's interesting that they chose Perfect Day, which is a movie directed by a German, right? Wim Wenders. So that was
best international feature would have been a shoe-in for Godzilla, or at least like a nomination.
Should have been, and it should have been last year. It should have been RRR the previous year.
Yeah,
it chose a different movie. Yeah, I love that movie. There's men in that movie. I mean, like traditional men, like
beautiful men.
Act like men. You know,
chest hair too.
Not like I don't know what's happening now, but it's just the spiral into irrelevance. And just from what I know from people in the industry, I have a friend who's a screenwriter who said that a job was listed and 400 people went after that job. There are no jobs right now. It is in terms of like writing assignments, and the industry is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, look, that's sort of the constant, but now I really think that we're going to start to see the accountability for all the terrible choices made over the last decade. It's all going to come home to roost this year and definitely into next year.
Yeah.
Especially if IATSE goes on strike.
It's the pendulum. The pendulum's coming back.
Yes.
And back to what you said with the experiment. I don't really follow the Oscars much. 2 years ago, a movie called Coda won Best Picture, and
Yeah.
I don't have any opinion on it. I've never seen it, but I also have never heard of it. So that's
Yeah.
the weird part about this. No idea what that is. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Coda was a movie that was on Apple TV Plus, and it was okay. I mean, it had the disability checkbox with deaf actors, real deaf actors, but did anyone see it here? How many people in the chat saw it?
I
Never
meant
heard
to see it, but I never did.
You're okay, MauLer. You'll
Wow,
live.
Oh,
MauLer.
You're
sorry.
gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. But it's
Oh,
like
MauLer.
the movies that like the year that Star Wars was nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture, Annie Hall won, and Woody Allen didn't even show up to receive the award.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's bizarre.
Wow.
That was a statement at a certain point, wasn't it? Like, it was cool to not show up or pretend not to care, or
Right.
if you were Marlon Brando, to refuse the Oscar and
Yeah,
get someone to make a speech there.
It's even more prevalent in the Grammys, like metal bands that are even like nominated. They'll say in an interview whilst the Grammys are going on, whilst they're not at the Grammys, saying "F the Grammys." It's hilarious.
Yeah, man. It's, well, like you say, they're facing now a contraction of the industry, aren't they? Like, after all the strikes, after all the not particularly great agreements that they struck, you're now seeing a reduction in the number of new projects that are getting made, the number of positions that are now available. They have essentially put themselves out of work in a lot of cases, and you're now facing an industry that's contracting over the next couple of years.
Yes.
And I don't know, long term, is that for the better of
Well,
them? Like, it's going to,
Yes.
because there's going to be less garbage, presumably.
yeah.
They're going to have to focus more effort into the projects that they actually do make.
It's going to be bad for a couple of years, and then it will start coming back because every single like Asian lady with the one writing credit in 2014, they're doomed because they're like, oh damn, I'm supposed to direct this whole trilogy for some weird ass reason. Yeah, you're done. That's over. They're going to start dropping like flies, and then we're going to have this kind of be like a big dip for a couple years until all these new projects start finishing, getting post production, and then I think we'll have a good run until everything gets good again, and then everybody makes it bad again. So it's like a pendulum.
Sydney will help us.
Thank
Save
God.
Hollywood.
Sydney,
Bro.
boy.
Can we get a crowdfunding started to like pay Sydney to just show one boob in a movie?
Oh my God! Did you see the video that just came out? They're promoting this movie Immaculate, which I'm fortunate enough, I'm seeing it tomorrow with her doing a Q&A, which is going to be a lot of fun. She put out a video called, it's basically F, Marry, Kill. And they go through different horror icons, like who she would do one of all of those three things to. And just hearing her say the words, oh, I would F Michael Myers. Like, and she's very, the best way to put it, nonplussed. She just does not, it doesn't bother her at all. Just talking about like which horror people she would bang.
Matter of fact.
And it's
Chris
it's
Gore
worth a
got
watch.
turned. He watched it and he got turned immediately. He's like, "Oh my god, look how easy it is for her to just say these things." Oh my god,
it's funny. It's funny how, in a weird way, Madam Web seems to have really helped her career. But not for the reasons that the filmmakers probably expected.
It just shows you. It shows you, drinker, that if you got some luscious round boobies, it doesn't matter what you do. You can stab a dude in the face. You can stab a dude in the face with a soldering iron, and you're still going to be on top, bro.
I just think, like, in terms of, I don't know what you would call this, strategy, gamesmanship, PR, whatever you want to call it, to turn a crushing career loss into an epic win the way she's done, I respect that.
That's
what you don't have to try too hard.
Well, I know, it's like, okay, be in a shit movie. What do? Show up to the premiere wearing basically nothing, and
oh my god,
it's
so easy.
Get loads of media attention.
So
be kind of chill about the movie and just make fun of it for what it is, and then suddenly everyone's on your side. Perfect. It's just great.
There's genuinely just a couple of small comments, right? She made fun of Madam Web on Saturday Night Live, and there was a little video we covered it on EFAB where she was saying she was really excited to try and bring the comic book character to life that she was doing. Like, just having a statement that she talked about the character and what they do and how she tried to implement it in the scenes that they allowed her to wear the costume. It's like, oh, that actually is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's
Well done for trying,
we're
Sydney.
simple. We're so simple. Drinker.
Oh, and she likes Simpsons Hit and Run, so marriage
Yeah.
material.
Oh,
obviously.
yeah, there you go. No,
Perfect,
it's
yeah.
No.
So we're so simple because we hated Brie Larson for years. Me and Drinker talked about this yesterday on my show. We and I say hate. We disliked and we memed on Brie Larson for years.
Yeah,
she
we
shows up
memed on her.
to
I
one.
didn't really care.
She shows up to one show with the boobies out, and everybody
Mm.
changed their mind in like a week. I remember everybody's like, "Oh, what's up? Her boobies are fat. Like, what's happening?" And it's like it's us as men. We forget it. It happens. A woman walks in. You just had a fight with her. You know, you fought over some bills or something. It was a terrible day. You're stressed out. She walks in with boobies out. None of it. It doesn't. It's all gone. It absolves.
Everything's all
immediately.
forgiven.
It's crazy how that works, man.
Well, it's almost like Sydney Sweeney. She knows what she has, and she knows what the audience wants, and she's trying to please her audience, and we're all happy for it.
Yeah, I'm all aboard. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, like I say, yeah, it's once the cast just abandoned ship on Madam Web and just decided to take the piss out of it, they were gold. Like they just escaped the criticism essentially, and just came out of it scot-free. Well done, ladies.
Yeah.
What can we do, Drinker? That what is our version of this? I need this superpower because sometimes people are mad at me. I'm like, what the hell? I can't just take my boobs out. All right, doesn't work.
No,
You could.
you're gonna have to. Yeah, we don't have that luxury, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, yeah, man. I guess that's kind of the tale of the Oscars this year. It was a bit of a non-entity.
I like the Batman part of it. That was it.
Yeah, Michael Keaton.
I think we all appreciated that. Yeah,
Fuck
it was
yeah.
nice.
Well, it's like you said
Arnold-
before. It's like Hollywood's making these expensive movies, but like how many billions upon billions do they have to keep losing? And you and Chris, Cody, everybody, remember a time where Disney, like they were just pumping out billion-dollar films, and in my lifetime, I never thought I'd see a Pixar film that's bombing at the box office. Wow, really? You know,
Frozen. The demographic for Frozen. Look, Frozen's like Scandinavian kind of. Everybody, it's the Disney Pixar film that was made for white people. It was like the one. So of course it broke all the records. Finally,
Well,
let it go.
Film Threat with your D files, you guys have covered this quite extensively, like why Pixar went downhill so rapidly, and Midnight Edge also have talked about it. And it was a big change of personnel at the management level, wasn't it, within Pixar?
Yeah, it was the ousting of John Lasseter. I believe that Iger felt threatened. He's the only one, when you look at the creatives, who had what Walt Disney had, which is a business mind, also balanced with a very competitive creative mind. But he ruffled feathers because he critiqued people's art in the interests of he was this very amiable, nice guy who hugged too much, got a little too sauced at parties, been there. But when he gave a critique of something and told you what was wrong when it came to story, character design, boom, his notes were biting.
Yeah.
But that's part of getting better at anything, right? Like it's notes, it's self-critique, and there's a generation of I could call them picky crybabies that can't hang in an entertainment environment. I mean, this is all blowing up, right? Like all of this, not just at Disney, but in all areas where people are. We did a couple stories with the WGA. A WGA member wrote an open letter. Then that has turned into a flood of people sending me stuff. Where I talked to a guy the other day who works below the line. What's below the line? Anything not on camera, grips. Lighting guys, electric. Craft services. They're not on camera. They're below the line, part of a budget of every film. Who was asked what his checkboxes are, his identity, so that he could work on a movie. So he just said he was queer. He wasn't, but just to stay employed, it's disgusting. It's mafia-like tactics, strong arming, and it's destroying the industry because it's driving people out. Rob and I talk about this stuff all the time because we're here kind of in the belly of the beast, and we know people in the industry that still work for studios and whatnot. So we hear this stuff constantly. It is going to destroy the industry. It really is. But the thing is this, I don't care, because what I'm excited about is all the possibilities this opens up in terms of independent film. Drinker, you have your film coming out, right? That you did the crowdfund for. There's no reason why you can't get a little extra money put it out commercially through some distributor. There's a lot of, we could have an offline boring distributor conversation. I can show you what your options are, but I know you want to get it out so people can see it, but there are many other places you could be. And I think it's important to be as many places as possible where, you know, films can be commercially, you know, seen, whether it's rent, purchase, a streaming service like Tubi or whatever. Just do it, because you'll have those revenue streams. But also I think that, you know, studios like Angel Studios, they're going to blow up. This is an opportunity. I've always been an indie film guy. I kind of balance my diet between like, here's mainstream crap, and sometimes it can be really good, but it's mostly bad. Indie film, I think there's even more stuff that's not great. But there are those little gems that you find that are really exceptional independent films. And I think with AI, because Hollywood has all these rules about AI, independent film doesn't have any rules. You can use AI to do a sci-fi epic. You could use look, I know how friends of mine who are screenwriters are using things like Chat GPT to enhance their ability to do screenplays. Simply, I won't bore you with get too specific, but ultimately they can take a scene that they've written. They wrote the scene, and they can ask Chat GPT to do a variation of that scene, and then you can take pieces of what Chat GPT spit out to go, oh, that's a good idea. It's like getting notes from AI, and then you can oh, that's I hadn't thought about. And so you can move stuff around and change it. It's not like Chat GPT can write a script for you. I don't think so. But,
well, I don't know. I don't want it to ever be able to, but to pick up on the point that you made there about just there's more opportunities now for indie studios and stuff, just because so many of the big budget movies are failing. I wonder if this is just part of the natural life cycle of any industry. Like the big dominant companies, the studios within it get so bloated and so inefficient and so corrupt that they basically sink under their own weight and implode. And then the next generation of studios comes up to replace them, grows and grows, and eventually they get to that same level as well, and the same thing happens to them. I don't know, is that part of the life cycle that you're going to see in the film industry? But it feels like...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think a good way to look at it is look at the gaming industry. And, you know, there's basically two heavyweights if you looked at it from the last 20 years. Obviously, there's a lot of platforms out there, but if you look at, and this is something, I worked at GameStop for 11 years, and I saw every, cycle come through. And when PS2 completely decimated the competition in that gen cycle, the Xbox 360 came around in 2003 or whatever. I think it was 2003. I can't remember now.
It was 2005 because I waited in line 18 hours to get one.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. 18 hours overnight.
Yeah,
then you got Sony they released the PS3 and it was a fucking disaster.
That's exactly the point. Is they were like, okay, well, our PS2 did so well that it does not matter what we do to our customers; they will buy it because they are loyal to us. And then they charged some unbelievable price. There was not a lot of games at launch. There was not a lot of options at launch, and the 360 was outpacing it in every single facet. So the 360 pretty much won. From all the way for the next 6-7 years, the 361. Now the PS3 obviously did make a comeback at the very end, but 360 was like, okay, we're in what 2013 or 14 or whatever, and they're like, okay, our customers are going to buy whatever we put out because they're loyal. We won that cycle. We're going to make the Xbox One. Don Matrix is such a dumb son of a bitch, and they try to put DRM in it. They try to charge 100 more than PS4. They do all these terrible mistakes that they end up backtracking within a week. It didn't really matter, and Don Matrix ended up stepping down and going to Zynga, I think. And then what happened? The Xbox One lost that cycle, and so on and so forth. Like Drinker said, you have all these studios, and they basically get too proud. Like too egotistical. No matter what we put out, people are going to buy it, and that's what Marvel and Disney's felt for a long time. They're obviously seeing the repercussions of shitty quality and putting messaging into film. So you're going to have all these other projects and studios start rising as a result. And if Marvel and Disney and all these big studios don't emulate these indie projects, the indie projects will take over. And like Drinker said, 10-15 years down the line, we're going to be in the same position with those people. Right. So it's going to people that can't take criticism. stuff like that.
The thing as well with
What?
filmmaking is, especially once it becomes like an official production where it's unionized and you have to follow the rules that are set out, with that union or with all the different unions for the actors, the crew and everything. It becomes so caught up in red tape and so expensive. Then the costs rise exponentially because everything that you want to do has a cost attached to it.
Yep.
Like, and I can say just from the tiny bit of experience we had, like when we were doing Rogue Elements, like we had the finale, it was going to take place, there was going to be a fight in like a riverbed, so like the bad guy was going to get the hero and like try and drown him, like hold his head under the water. Seems like a simple scene, right? Like there's no explosions going off in the background, we don't need any special effects, it's two guys fighting. But you can't do that, because if you want to do a shot like that in like a river or a lake or anything, you have to get a fucking lifeguard in, you have to get ambulance personnel on standby in case someone drowns. You need to get water tests and everything done to make sure that it's like pure and safe and everything. It becomes so convoluted that it's like, forget it, we'll just do something different instead. But that's like, everything's got that attached to it when it's a full-scale movie production. That's why I can totally see why indie productions have got so much more free reign, because they're not constrained by those rules. I mean, people are definitely going to get injured and killed making them, but that's a risk worth taking.
Or you can just completely ignore those rules and just do whatever the F you want, which is what a lot of indie films do. They just don't. Those are the rules that Hollywood has, which is why that middle management bloat and all the grifts that Hollywood has bent over, whether it's intimacy coordinator or COVID compliance officer, or all or the DEI stuff, where you've seen that software, right, that they have, right? The spell check for bias from the Gina Davis Institute. They announced that at the Oscars last year. It's horrifying, but where Hollywood is, it reminds me of the 70s before Jaws and before Star Wars. If you look back at that period during a huge cultural upheaval in the late 60s, Hollywood was making terrible musicals. They connected with no one. They had these bloated budgets. They were not tapping into the zeitgeist. What was in the zeitgeist? Exploitation movies, small independent films. Indie films of the 70s thrived. Star Wars and Jaws changed the industry. The word blockbuster didn't exist before Jaws and Star Wars 1976, 1977, respectively. So the industry was so out of touch, they didn't know what to do. Alan Ladd Jr. is like, I don't know, you made that American Graffiti movie for a couple $1 million, and George Lucas, he didn't know everything. You said like, this guy knows everything. No, when he made American Graffiti, he didn't know that you had to get the rights to all these songs. They had to go back and spend a ton of money so he could have all these songs from the 50s. He was sort of blissfully unaware. Well, these are the songs I want to use. I mean, obviously he became much more savvy, but even he decided, like, look, Hollywood's a terrible place. He left. He was developing Flash Gordon. He said, this is awful. I'm just going to leave. Went to Marin County in the middle of nowhere to found a studio and to be independent because he despised Hollywood people. I agree with him. But this is where I think we're at the same place in the 60s where, look at the mainstream movies. Are they in touch with common people? Zero. Hollywood used to champion, good or bad, Hollywood used to champion working man, blue collar people. Remember those Clint Eastwood movies with an orangutan? Every which way but loose, any which way you can.
Right Turn, Clive.
Whenever you think of those movies, or movies like Night Shift, with just I could name a ton of movies from that era. Who was the hero? Working people, blue collar people. Who does Hollywood hate? All of those people. It's disgusting. It's stupid. They're paying for it. But Hollywood used to champion the small working man. Even Norma Ray, which won Sally Field an Oscar, to tie it back, was about a woman working at a factory fighting to build a union, right? Like these were the stories that Hollywood told. What are the kinds of stories Hollywood tells now? Stories about narcissistic a-holes that are unlikable. I'm talking about the Marvels for the most part. I mean, Brie Larson, she's just an unlikable character. MauLer, I don't need to remind you just how her choices are so bad. How is she even considered a superhero?
Exactly.
Well,
Anyway, sorry for my rant.
no, I appreciate it, and I agree 100% with what you're saying. I can't remember who said it. Might have been Gary. That we used to champion noble actions. Now we champion noble identities.
Mhm.
That's the difference now.
That
It's
makes
not
sense.
what you do that makes you a hero or a good person, according to Hollywood. It's what you are.
Yep.
And there's no escaping that, apparently. So it's an interesting view on morality that they have. And it's no wonder that it doesn't connect with normal people, because normal people don't see the world that way. And when you're fundamentally different from your own audience, you're going to start losing money. You know, a lot of people might not even be able to articulate exactly what the problem is. They just know, I don't like this movie. It doesn't move me. It doesn't inspire me. It doesn't connect with me. I'm not going to see other movies like this because I don't like them anymore.
Yeah, it's the age old adage that something given is not earned nor respected. So if you watch a movie and the character is just propped up sheerly because of either their culture or their skin or whatever have you, or their sexual identity, it's obviously forced. And you have the majority of people living in like rural parts of the world that are like, this, I can't speak to this, or I can't relate to this because I'm just trying to survive paycheck to paycheck. People don't give me shit like for free based on what I look like or what I do. I still have to hustle every single day to make ends meet. And then you watch movies where people are just propped up sheerly because how they're born, which is something they have no control over, and no one can really relate to it. It's very silly, and that's why I feel like people just don't. I mean, and me and Drinker talked about this. It's starting to bleed over into stuff that doesn't even deserve it. You'll watch a movie where just a black woman walks in the room now, and you're like, "Oh, here we go," and you roll your eyes, and then it turns out it was nothing. But we're prone to jump at that kind of stuff now because it was so. Yeah. It's so prevalent in every single film. It got to the point where I can't even. If I look at a Rotten Tomatoes score, if I see that it has a good critic score, I won't watch it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm terrified that it's like, well, why did they give it a good critic score? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and everybody knows this.
They've destroyed their own value, I suppose.
That's become the problem. It's remember in the 80s and 90s, if you had a black character or a gay character, it was part of the storyline. And Drinker, you said it plenty of times. Now, if you get a black or gay character, is it part of the storyline, or are you checking a diversity checkbox? We're not sure anymore, and you automatically assume it's checking a box, but we don't know because, damn.
Well, again, it undermines your faith in the character, because then you begin to question, is that character in there because they're a good choice for the plot or the story, or is it just they had a quota that they had to fulfill for this movie? And it's a shame, because like in the instances where actually no, they're a well-written character, you're less likely to give them a chance because there's been so many bad experiences with this sort of thing in the past.
Yeah, 100%. And a good example of this working in the opposite direction is when I saw. I think it was called Halloween Kills. It was like the whatever yearly Halloween movie with Michael Myers. And there's this plot line where there's this gay couple, and it's one of the guys that plays him is the guy from Old Mad TV that did Stewart. And they're just a gay couple, and then Michael Myers is like in their house at some point. And when I saw it, I rolled my eyes immediately. And then it played out, and it was great. They were good characters. They were well written. They were funny. And then, of course, obviously, the Michael Myers is in their house. So they just get brutalized. And everybody on Twitter was really pissed because Michael Myers killed the gay people.
He was homophobic, Michael Myers.
Well, imagine
this exact
Myers,
thing happened with It Part 2 as well.
Yeah, he's like, sorry, I can't kill a gay man.
And the sad part too is It Part 2. That was written in the book, when was the book? Chris would know, back in the 80s that Stephen King wrote it.
Yeah.
I would know back in the 80s just because I was alive in the 80s.
Because you know this
I know everything. Jesus.
Anyways. Well, that's the unfortunate, like, back almost, I guess you call it an elastic band effect, where it's like, stop killing so many gay people, and now they've become immune to death and a lot of stuff. The example would always be The Boys season 3, with Eric Kripke openly admitted, like, I ain't killing any gay characters. That's absurd. No way.
Yeah, it's like, well, how you're tying your own hands behind your back as a writer then, when you're putting up these rules on yourself that you don't need. It's kind of like that meme, that's keeps doing the rounds on Twitter, where it's like, I don't know, a white character kills a black character in a story. Like, oh, you can't have that. So then they have like a black character kill a black character. Nope, you can't have black on black crime. Then it's like, okay, a black character kills a white character. No, that you can't have that because that perpetuates negative stereotypes. And then it's like, okay, we'll have two white characters kill each other. No, you can't have that. Where's your black representation?
You can't have anything. Yeah, you can't have
it. It's probably why MauLer. It's probably why MauLer likes the end of Dune Part 1 better than Dune Part 2, because the end of Dune Part 1 Anyways, forget I said all that.
Yeah.
Just-
I was going to say, MauLer, as well, you will be gutted to hear that according to
no.
this latest report from Forbes, we're
boy.
not going to get Eternals 2, Captain Marvel 3, or Ant-Man 4 because they've all apparently been cancelled as Disney is scaling back their commitment to MCU projects.
It's kind of funny though, Nick. It's just like, oh, well, you usually make such awful decisions, Disney. What's going on? Like,
Yeah.
why the change of heart? Like,
well, I mean, it's explained pretty neatly here in the article. Actually, when you look at Eternals, got a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes, $402 million worldwide. That came nowhere near breaking even. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, 46% Rotten Tomatoes, 476 million worldwide, and the Marvels, 62%, 206 million worldwide.
you know, it's half tempting to turn the whole narrative around, right? Like, I've seen tweets go out that are viral. They're like, it's so unfair. Like, the complaints about having too many women in things is finally taking hold, and it looks like Hollywood are now going to start trying to, you know, correct for it. And it's like, no, it's money. It's always been money. It's money. You guys should have showed up to these movies, but you didn't. Probably because they were shit. But the fact is, you didn't show up. You didn't support them, so now they're dying. And it's like, to be fair, I don't blame you for not supporting the Marvels. Don't blame me for not supporting Quantumania. Don't blame me for not supporting, what the fuck was the other one? Eternals? Did anyone even see that? I don't think so. So
that's why I ask you, Drinker. I mean, Eternals box office doesn't matter because that movie, I was told, was saving lives.
It literally saved lives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. I don't care about the box office. It saved lives. Huh.
Yeah. It's almost as if these studios, and this kind of bleeds into gaming as well.
Oh boy.
Is they're trying to sell to a demographic that isn't going to see the loudest people online that are angry about whatever movement or whatever representation. They're not even watching the film in the end, so it doesn't matter.
women did not support the Marvels. Simple as that.
Women didn't support Madam Web either.
Damn you, women.
Why don't you help each other, women?
And it's when they always
We're
do
giving
those
you
polls.
every opportunity here. Come
We're
on,
trying
prove
to
us wrong.
help you, damn it.
They always do those polls too. It's like Madam Web was it the demographic of women? Then of course like 85% of viewers were men.
Yep.
And or like Ghostbusters, whatever the remake crappy one. It's
we jest,
Canadian.
right? But like they're obviously prepared to show up in large numbers for Barbie. So they
Oh,
were
of
supporting
course.
that.
The
But it's
truth,
like
the truth is that these are really shit films, and that no one likes them. They're used in like as props in a proxy war for culture a lot of the time. It's not actually a
Yeah,
thing
true.
anyone cares about.
All right, guys.
Exactly, it's
So
always been
this
that.
easy ritual that's helped my grandma.
That wasn't me.
that wasn't me.
That?
That was me. I'm sorry.
It's just
My apologies.
I mean, to be fair, of all the things that could have suddenly come out audio-wise, it could have been worse.
Yeah,
I usually wait till 1 a.m. to start watching that kind of stuff, Chris.
sorry.
I mean, he's got the sandworm bucket behind him. Come on.
I have to share this one as well. This super chat that just came in for 50 buckaroos.
Wow, nice.
Dang, Sydney looks smoking in that dress. Anyway, yes, I think most people are becoming conditioned to woke culture.
Yeah.
You think everything has an agenda because 90% of the time it does. Still some decent movies being made like Dune, Iron Claw, and Godzilla -1.
Sure.
There are, yeah, and that's why I think you need to try extra hard to champion those movies that are
Yeah,
actually
absolutely.
good because they deserve it.
Yeah, and in contrast, they're even better. You go see a movie. I remember when I went and saw Top Gun Maverick. You know, I was 100% expecting
Oh God.
for Tom Cruise to be old, tired, annoyed, sad, underperforming, and everybody kicks his ass, and he's just badass the whole movie. So I was like, okay, this is great. It all worked out, and in comparison, in contrast to what I'm used to, it probably made the film even seem better. So
Yeah, and the film did $1.2 billion.
yeah,
So,
Yeah.
so.
Which
and
ain't
again,
so bad.
people knowing your audience.
What is
Yeah.
Dune 2 sitting at now, actually?
Well, I know it did surpass part 1 within 2 weeks, so it's definitely higher than part 1. And like
More
you said,
worms.
Drinker,
More worms.
Yeah, more.
Just give me
300
more worms. That's all I need.
It's just shy of 380 million at the
Wow.
moment.
But it's like you said, Drinker, I'm not sure because I know Chris saw it early screening too, that when I went to go see Dune 2, the Regal fan screening, that's the most I see my mall populated in the past 6 months. There was like 1,000 people going to see Dune, and I've never seen that. I can't tell you the last film I've seen that many people. Like my Dune screening was sold out. I can't tell you the last screening I saw that was sold out in the past 5 years. Maybe the last Spider-Man, because Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, but that's it.
Yeah, it was probably when I went and saw Endgame. it was like packed to the rim.
Yeah.
You could hear people
Mhm.
like audibly sobbing at the Tony Stark thing. So yeah, there was a lot of people in there, man.
Yeah, the IMAX, like I saw Dune 2 in IMAX, sold out. Like I had to be sat right at the front because it was like the only seats left.
Oh
Nightmare.
god, the breakneck ones. You're like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like it's even worse than an IMAX screen. You're like,
Because it goes right down to the floor too. So
But-
like you look up like that.
but the
Yeah.
worms were so big.
the
worms
so
are even
big.
bigger.
What unhealthy
Oh my
worm
God.
obsession.
I know, yeah. God
Dude,
damn it! It's all you ever want to talk about is worms.
That's why I like the second one so much. You only saw like one worm in the first one.
I'm buying you tequila. I swear.
Yeah,
It was a good whim, though.
it was.
It was.
It was, yeah.
It was the biggest
Fun
one
to
too.
ride, as they say.
Oh, Shalul. Yeah.
Yeah.
Al Shaloob.
Can't forget about him. He's
Why
the
can't the
big-
Fremen talk like that?
we don't like
you
you around
mentioned-
these parts? Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the gaming industry, right? Obviously, that's going through its own problems at the moment, and a lot of
Yes, it
the
is.
things that you like have exposed with the D files about the DEI, the ESG stuff, the constant checklists, and the inclusion quotas that they have to meet. That's everywhere within the gaming industry as well, and it's all come to light in the past couple of weeks with the whole Sweet Baby Inc. stuff. To the point where even Elon Musk has taken time out of like launching space rockets and stuff to weigh in on this. And I just love the fact that he is personally invested in this and he weighed in on this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he just takes no prisoners with all this stuff. And it's great to see, I suppose, because, you know, when all this came to light, maybe 10 years ago, that's when the whole Gamergate thing was really lit. Twitter was a very different place, and it was very friendly to video game journalists who could squash all of this stuff, and it's not anymore, partly because of him. And it's a very different environment, and I think the landscape of this whole conflict, I guess, has changed quite a bit as a result. But you can always count on the journalists to strike back with dumb articles, and IGN obliged us with this. They had something to say about Resident Evil 5 getting remade.
Here we
It was
go.
amazing.
I saw this.
Because
Yeah.
they got absolutely dragged for it. Yeah, they're saying that Resident Evil 5 is a game that can't be remade now. It has to be rewritten. Now, it's interesting because weirdly, the first couple of paragraphs of the article does actually make some half-decent points that it indulged the sort of over-the-shoulder third-person combat mechanic cover-based shooter thing way too much. It was just the thing that was really prevalent at the time in gaming, and the Resident Evil series went in hard on it. So I can kind of get behind that. That's criticism of the game mechanics and stuff. But obviously, they couldn't help themselves. They had to move on to the story and the setting, and they had this to say. Set in a fictional West African country, Resident Evil 5's primary antagonists are black people.
No shit.
Who would have thought that your main opponents in an African country would be black? Anyway,
Yeah.
Yes, technically it's the Ouroboros virus that protagonist Chris
Technically.
Redfield.
Like a technicality that they're fucking monsters. Like,
They're
you know,
undead
it's
zombie
zombies, but
monsters.
yeah.
But the parasite's
MauLer.
host is depicted as a nation of mobs and primitives who are violent even before their infection, which is a total misrepresentation of the plot. They've already been infected by the time you show up.
Yeah.
Intentionally or not, Resident Evil 5 positions Africa as the Dark Continent, an uncivilized world harboring a diseased population that needs gunning down via Western intervention in the name of global security. This insensitive treatment of people of color was hotly debated even as early as Resident Evil 5's debut trailer,
It's true.
which is interesting because IGN themselves gave it 9 out of 10 and called it excellent.
They did. They sure did. Yeah.
It was
You
It was
played
a-
yourselves, IGN. You
It was
played
a great
yourselves.
co-op game. Come on.
It was. No,
It was.
I loved it. I loved it back in the day. Now I couldn't play it now because like I never was a big fan of the Gears of War. And when Gears of War started taking over the
Really?
damn world, every single game became the over-the-shoulder game. And
That's true.
so I see what they're saying there. But to say that we're surprised that there's black people in a continent, or at least a part of a continent that's predominantly black, is hilarious to me. It's almost like saying Resident Evil 9 is going to be set in rural Alabama and then being angry that everybody's a white meth head. Like,
Well, it's hilarious as well. Like they seem to have no ethical problem with gunning down the Ganados in Resident Evil 4, which are all white people.
Well, Spanish people even
Spain.
human?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, you heard it from MauLer first, you know.
I asked a question.
Didn't make a statement. Yeah, can't get me.
But it makes you wonder.
Yeah,
Drake,
the same point though. It's like, why is it so acceptable to do that? But like this is just like a crime against humanity, and it's great because one of the voice actors from the game actually had a great thing to say about it. I'll just bring his little clip up. It's brilliant. It just destroys the whole narrative.
In Africa, it's been in Antarctica. It's been, I think, in Spain. It's been in the Midwest. It wasn't racist.
Oh, why is it stopped?
It wasn't racist then. Why
are you stopping?
Damn internet.
Story of my life.
Yeah, it might be the internet actually. It could be like slightly so. I'll try again.
Racist then.
I know who that guy is. He's actually a really cool actor who also has played in the mocap for the legendary Godzilla films.
Really?
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I saw him at Monster Palooza just give a speech and talk about mocap and whatnot. So blame him for the running Godzilla. I don't know. I don't know if he worked on the new one. Godzilla X Kong looks god awful.
Oh god,
Yes,
yeah. Well, anyway, the point that he was making there was like it wasn't racist in those games, and it's not racist here. Just have fun and enjoy the game, and stop like getting offended by everything.
Yeah.
That was his parting sentiments, and he's 100% correct about that. That is, you know, it's just one of those things that becomes another thing to posture over. It becomes another thing for gaming journalists to get mad about, and it's just another example of how they're completely irrelevant and they're completely out of touch with their own audience, as they have been for years now.
Well, think about it this way. So we talked about this where, you know, Russell T. Davies tells on himself for how he sees people that are disabled. Like no one was thinking Davros was evil because he was in the military. He was just evil because he was evil. And this is the same thing. The journalist says a really interesting sentence at the end of his little spiel. He's like, they portray this as basically a war-torn, shitty Western African country that deserves to be gunned down by Western intervention. Who is saying that people in Africa deserve to be gunned down? No one said that except for the person writing this article. They're telling on themselves. They have a weird subconscious place where they're like, why do these people want to gun down all these? No one does. You are just thinking that without anybody intervening, which kind of makes you sound like you're a psycho. I just want to kill the zombies with things come out their face.
At best, it's the most bad faith interpretation of what the game's actually doing, which is these people are victims of like a horrendous bioterrorism act, you know, and yes, you have to fight them because you've got no option but to do that. Just like in every other Resident Evil game, that's just the nature of the game. It's not that like you're meant to glory in it. You're not meant to, enjoy what you're doing. It's a survival horror game. That's the point of it.
You know, and Drinking, you played it. I know, like I'm pretty sure MauLer did, maybe Camelot. Like, so what's the alternative? You sit there and you have like what, white zombies in an African country. Then you complain about there's no African representation.
Yeah,
it's weird because I almost feel like they would be happy if the protagonist was black.
Yeah.
Then they would say it's totally acceptable to be gunning down all these black people because it's a black person doing it. I think that would be their mentality.
But then they had Shiva.
Be
Shiva was teaming up with Chris, so that it was the representation.
There you go. They did. Or you could have just introduced a new character like Lamar Redfield, like a half brother. That'd have been great.
Yeah,
but even more buff.
I remember when the game came out too. Like the big controversy was they were pissed off that the zombies had African spears and African garbs and tribes. I'm like, so they're using authentic African tribes, and you're mad about that? Do you expect people in 105-degree weather to be wearing a snowsuit?
Yeah,
I'm curious about that. You're mad because African people are wearing African garb. Okay, do you want them to have like khakis on? I don't understand what you're pissed off about.
And we completely ignored the fact that he punched the damn boulder. That was more the thing that I was pissed at.
That's why it's my favorite game of the series.
Yeah, he just punches
again. It's funny how that's even become such. Like, obviously, it has become like the meme of all memes with Resident Evil. But even then, he's not punching the boulder to fight it or like punching it off a cliff or anything. It's just like he's so frustrated that he can't shift this thing that he's like punching it out of frustration. Like that's all it is. It's still a dumb scene. Like, don't get me wrong,
but it's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah,
it's so jacked.
I feel like 30-inch biceps too, man.
I know.
But their whole solution to it is just erasure, right? Just completely erase it. Don't see it. To gentrify it. Don't have any real setting. it's utterly ridiculous. Like even like I'm sure we all remember recent history with food brands like Land O'Lakes. Well, we can't have an Indian
Oh,
Take
boy.
her
young Indian woman on the cover of a butter brand on the packaging, or Uncle Ben's rice,
They
or
took
Aunt Jemima.
Aunt Jemima
oh
syrup, and the
oh
families of those icons got money. It's ridiculous. And it's like
I
even the thing
know.
with the the Washington Redskins, right? I mean, that one's a little borderline for me, but like, the Chiefs, right? There was a controversy with the Chiefs recently, which that media company that wrote that terrible story about that kid.
Oh, that one backfired pretty bad, didn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
They
They're out
just
of
went.
business.
They
They're
just
out of
got all
business.
fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all ties into the shirt that I'm wearing. If you can sort of get this look.
Caucasians.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What
you
would
go.
you think about this if I wore this? I'm like, I think it's cool. I want one actually.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's modeling off.
The issue is, man, is these people that kind of occupy this space, they want to choose when they see people of color. And they take people out of all these like representation roles, Atlanta Lakes, Aunt Jemima, stuff like that. But when it comes to, let's say, a rural, undisturbed village in Rings of Power, somehow everybody's a different race. It doesn't make any sense. It's like it's like, what do you want? And it goes all the way back full circle to the meme that Drinker brought up. There is no winning. Who are you even trying to appeal to anymore? Because there's always going to be someone mad. And I think the best course of action, which is what we're seeing now with indie films, is to just make a good film and just don't care. We don't just ignore all the yelling pink-haired ladies on Twitter that's going to be mad about everything.
Yeah, that's always fun part. And who's offended? Like Chris was mentioned, watching Redskins. I'm in New York State. My father was on a New York State reservation. Every native I knew that went to middle school, everybody had a Redskins jacket on. They loved it.
They love that shit.
I've never met in even 2024 a Native American in New York State who was pissed off by a Land O'Lakes or a Redskins jersey.
White woman. It's a white woman.
How many black people were playing Resident Evil 5 and were really pissed off about that game? They just want to shoot zombies.
They loved it.
I guarantee it was some white dude. Yeah, come on. The whole white guilt thing. Really?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I just wanted to do this super chat here as well. Joe Edgar says, I watched Elektra. It's a pretty mid film, but it's a lot better than the Marvels or Madam Web. Also, Jennifer Garner is hot in that red costume. That was a very different
I remember
era
Elektra.
of superhero movies.
It was a film.
I remember Elektra.
It was one of the most films.
I
of all
was
time.
there. I remember being like, "Oh my god, look, Alias Girl. She's getting a movie. How nice."
Because that was her spin-off from Daredevil, wasn't it? And she got brought back to life because she got killed in Daredevil.
Yep.
Yes.
I did watch the deleted scene with Ben Affleck was in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor Ben. He's not had much luck with superhero movies over the years.
Oh boy.
I mean, yeah, it's funny to look back at that period when you had movies like Daredevil and Elektra and like Halle Berry as Catwoman.
Oh god.
Man, that was just like the sort of mid 2000s. Like, oof. It was a different time. It was a more innocent time where they hadn't quite figured it out yet.
I remember too when Michael Clark Duncan was Kingpin and nobody cared about his skin color. It's just Michael Clark Duncan was a effing badass. He was just a big he gained.
I mean, he was an absolute beast for that
He said
movie.
he gained 50 pounds for that role, and he's already a big dude. Just how much bigger he was than Ben Affleck in that film, and 50 pounds, that's not a small feat, dude. Like he was already a big human being.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you have a good solid character and a good actor that's respected behind it, most people are cool with like Idris Elba or something like that. I mean, I'm sure there were some people, but I feel like the majority of people were totally cool with Samuel L. Jackson being Nick Fury. And like, as long as it's a good, he's a good character and he's well written. Now, obviously, I know later on it got really, really bad, but in the early Marvel projects, I think it was a solid choice. And as long as you write it well, people won't really. I feel like they won't really care.
Well, as Drinker said, look at Nick Fury in Iron Man 1 and look at Nick Fury in the Marvels. Boy,
that's a very different man.
Yes, it is.
He's just a cat wrangler.
Yeah, it's so weird how much they've disrespected that character and just ruined him. It's like he just became like comic relief at a certain point.
I just have to assume Sam Jackson's pushing 80. He's like, you know what, guys, I don't care. I just want a quick paycheck. I'm almost 80 years old at this point.
I mean, does he even need it at this point? He's been in like every movie ever made.
Well,
he just seems to take every project that comes across his desk.
What was the incentive for Harrison Ford to do Indiana Jones 5? He doesn't need the money.
Yeah, no idea. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's just trying to prove that he can still do it or what.
I mean, honestly, it's fun to make movies. It's really
Oh.
fun. It's a lot of there's an energy about it. It's fun to be on a film set. And I do think that a lot of actors that keep working when, really like, why doesn't Liam Neeson retire? Right? Why doesn't Nick Cage retire?
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's made back all of his money that he needed for taxes to pay for taxes.
Oh boy.
But I do
He's just
think
gonna
that
buy more stuff, man. He can't
yeah,
stop.
it's not about the money. It is really fun to be in that creative setting where,
Yeah.
I mean, look, one of the best decisions that Harrison Ford ever made was to argue about the bad line in the script when he was in the carbon freeze chamber, right? They're going to freeze him. Says, I love you too. He says, Han Solo would never say that.
You're
And
right.
they shut down production for like half a day to come up with something better. Lucas was, I mean, that the making of that movie is the biggest mess of all the Star Wars movies, maybe
Yeah.
with the exception of Force Awakens, but it ended up being the best Star Wars movie. And it was a mess behind the scenes, if you know anything about it.
Yeah.
You've read that book, The Secret History of Star Wars, really good.
How many production hell videos has Drinker done, and they've turned out to be fantastic films?
That's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
mean, it can
Whenever I
happen.
see like,
It really can.
whenever I see people, they're like, "Oh, we had so much fun on set." I'm like, might be shit. Your movie might be shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Godfather might be also one of the worst. Like just some of these productions that were such a mess with people arguing and being angry with each other. That's why I think that so little of this, so much stuff is just, someone mentioned earlier, mid. It's just generic and mid.
Yeah.
Most things are forgettable and unremarkable. And that is where we are. And it's because they're focused on the wrong things. They're focused on DEI. You should focus on making some better effing movies.
Yeah.
Because
Right,
this industry is going to die if you don't get the audience back. You have an industry that is constantly shrinking. You have video games,
You're
which
right.
has surpassed profitability wise, a form of entertainment that people prefer over movies. You better get, how are you going to get
Right.
people back into the theater? You better be focusing on that problem rather than counting the lines that a particular identity of a character has in a film, which is what Hollywood is so obsessed with. It's so racist on its face and so obvious to anyone with eyes. It's infuriating to me because cinema will be a lost art form. It'll just be gone if they don't. And when you hear people like Tarantino and Chris Nolan say, might just make a couple more movies and then leave the industry, it's too much of a hassle. What they have to deal with on that level. It's fun
Yeah.
to make movies part. That's the fun part. That's the actual all this like business nonsense. It's unbelievable. It's awful. It's like politics.
Well, this stuff that they obsess over, it's the kind of luxury that you can only afford when you're super successful and rolling in
Right.
dough, which they're not. Like you say, the industry's contracting. They've had nothing but flops pretty much throughout the past couple of years. All the major studios are losing money. They cannot afford this stuff anymore. They can't afford to indulge it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how they think they can still keep doing it. Like, is it just we've got no option because that's the only way we can get loans to finance more movies? So
I was gonna say to Chris, I know Chris, you're not the biggest gamer, but like Drinker MauLer, like something like
First of all, let me correct you. I am a big gamer.
you are. Come on,
You
you
just
are.
don't fuck off. I was the editor of Video Games and Computer Entertainment
Come on.
magazine in the 90s. I created a magazine called Tips and Tricks,
Mhm.
Ultimate Gamer, CD-ROM Power, Computer Player.
True.
I old school, have all the old game systems back to the Atari 2600, Odyssey 2, all the major game systems. Waited in line
Yeah.
2005, overnight at a Best Buy. I drank a 12-pack of light beer. Forgive me.
Xbox 360.
And I got I get my Xbox 360. I've had every I'm more of a PlayStation guy now, PS5. Nintendo's like the Disney. So I game.
Yeah.
I'm very selective of the type of games. I don't stream my gaming because I want to play the effing game. I don't want to play and feel obliged to entertain other people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to entertain myself. So, and we could talk all along. We could talk about Earthbound, Super NES. We could talk
Nice.
about I don't know, Star Control 3, which is on the 3DO, which is a system. I even had the Philips CDI, and no one knows what that is. I had the Jaguar.
I know what it is.
What is that?
And the Jaguar CD. There was a game called Cybermorph on the Jaguar, the Atari Jaguar. Then they did the Cybermorph 2, which was only on the Jaguar CD, which I also had. Do you remember when
I've got a Jaguar there.
You got a Jaguar. I love that dumb controller. Then there was the Intellivision was cool because they had I could go on and on. I go on and on. Have you ever read the book Game Over? You should read that book.
Really? Is it yours?
Game Over is a great book. It's about the history of the video game business. It starts in the late 1800s when Nintendo was a playing card company.
Yeah.
They made cards. Then it comes all the way up to the present. It is like that. First of all, it's a brilliant book, Game Over. Someone should turn it into a movie, either a documentary or a narrative film, because it is like the Corleone crime family, but it's like Nintendo, Sega, a Sony, like all these battling companies. It's riveting. Get an older version of that book. Yeah. There's updated versions. Look up Game Over. Great book. And it's if you're just a gamer who just I love the tech. I've been going to CES since a long time ago. Before that turned into E3, which I also used to go to. I also covered shit for G4. Sorry for the rant, but I don't like when someone calls me out on cred on shit.
So basically, don't
my
ever
gamer
doubt
tag
his
is
gaming cred.
Gbone77 on PS5 if you care.
Yeah.
Gbone77. It's my Vegas name. So
I love
no, it's funny.
But, yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I get a little worked up sometimes.
No, but I was gonna say,
that's your trigger.
Look at GTA 5. GTA 5 was making like tens of billions of dollars. Like some of these games are making more than live action films. And like MauLer played God of War Ragnarok. Some of these games now they're like watching like 20-hour live action films, and they're breaking records. Like you're paying $60 for a game, you sell 10 million copies. That's 600 million.
It is a great value in terms of your entertainment, paying $60, $70 for a game, and you're 40 hours in. Compared to a movie, better spend is a game. The other thing is I do watch other gaming streams like MauLer. I like when you save me money. What was that Gollum game?
Oh my God.
Almost your stream. It was you and Az I would watch, and Az looked like a beloved pet died every time he would fall off a cliff. The detection on just the walls and stuff was so off. Everything about it. I also have a lot of friends in the games industry that feed me stuff all the time, but I'm not games is not my thing. My channel is movies. I guess it's Geezer Gaming or Gore Gaming or something. Gary and I talk about doing a Gary, Nerdrotic, as Piers Morgan referred to him as. Congratulations, drinker, on that appearance, you and Gary. Thanks. He just referred to him as Nerdrotic. We talked about doing a Geezer Gaming channel, just two old guys playing games. I think I would kick Gary's ass, not to brag, but just like I've been playing games a long time. I've had every major system. I was a collector when I had more space for that stuff. But I'd love to talk about that.
I would love to watch a stream of Gary playing like Dark Souls. Or
trying to get out of a room. I love it.
Let's get him on Pac-Man first. All right,
let's
chill
start
out
with the basics.
Dark Souls.
No, Chris, man, I would love you to take on certain games. Like I know Jedi Survivor, I think is the best Star Wars game we've had.
I have it.
In a good decade. There's a lot of good storylines in gaming we're not getting in movies.
But these games now, I mean, F that Sweet Baby Company, F them. Really, F them in every hole. I think that they suck. But what I have noticed as someone who I'll download games, I'll play it. I played and finished Cyberpunk 2077. I still haven't played the add-on, but I played it after they fixed all the bugs. I quite enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed. It's like Blade Runner the game. So I like a lot of aspect of it. But what I've noticed with a lot of these games is you're walking a lot.
Yeah.
And then I walk and I complete a task and then I get to watch a movie. It's not a reward. I was always the kind of gamer like get me past this. Get me past this. Start, you press the button to just get past. I don't want to see a cinematic at the beginning. Let me get into the game. Cinematics I find to be intrusions. If I want to watch a cinematic, I'll watch a movie. Too much cinematics bug the crap out of me. And there's just like too much.
I think what they
walking
do
in it.
though is they try for this halfway house where it's like we're going to force you to walk. You can't run to your next objective, and so that slows it down enough that they can cram in the obligatory dialogue that they need to like progress the plot forward.
Yeah.
So you are just watching an
Right.
interactive cutscene essentially, where you've got limited control. It's like if you've got so limited control over what's going on, and there's no threats or anything, what's the point? Just have it as a movie, have it as a cutscene.
Yep.
But it's just a lot of the time it's inefficient dialogue because the characters will just prattle
Well, like, I
on for
mean,
too
you
long.
know, are we going to pretend you're like, how many people have played Last of Us? It's like famous for being,
Oh,
you know,
boy.
movie level in a game, but I still like, I like it as a game, even though, you know, there's a lot of cutscenes in them, but man, some of them are fucking good. Like,
Yeah.
which to me, you know, I respect the idea that you want to play a game for a game. You're not there to watch something, but at the same time, like I'm someone, and I think there's several people out there who probably do. I'm like, yeah, I could go putting the controller down for about a minute, and I'll pick it back up to play a game again. I don't mind a break here and there.
Well,
But I feel the
there's
difference with Last of Us 2
there's
is
games like Red Dead 2 that will have dynamic dialogue for cutscenes where you can still get
Yeah.
interrupted by combat and stuff, and then once it's over, the characters will be like, "So, as I was saying," and then you go back to like what they were talking about. So you've still got a gaming experience while this other stuff's going on.
when it feels organic, it works. Like the Arkham games, I freaking love
Oh
the
yeah,
Arkham
they're
games.
Yeah,
bitching.
you're right.
Except for that last one where you had to drive a lot.
Arkham Knight.
The car, I hated that. But the previous were awesome. I mean, the
Hey, man.
voice acting.
It's better than Suicide Squad.
Oh no, no,
Yeah.
no! I'm not talking about that one. That was
I heard
I
Muller's
see.
favorite game of 2024 was Suicide Squad. Yeah.
oh my god,
I
was
I'm trying to move
sorry.
through all the Arkham games now. I'm still on City. I'm getting there.
nice.
I was going to read this one out. This is $100 from
Mm.
Billy Bod or Dilly
Wow.
Bod. Says, "Keep up the good work. Been watching you guys for a while. I'm working on a comic called Two Men in Area 51. It's about two morons who work at Area 51, and shenanigans abound. It's taking longer than I thought, but I hope to release soon." Well, thank you for the donation, my friend, and good luck with that. Best of
Yeah,
luck with it.
definitely.
The other thing I wanted to get you guys' opinions on was The Crow. The
Ugh.
movie from, what was
Jeez,
it,
Chris.
1992? The
No,
original?
no, 1994. It's the 20th year
94.
anniversary. Yeah.
94, yeah. Sorry.
Because they're putting out the 4K release now.
Yeah. A movie which still holds up remarkably well even today and kind of kicked off the modern era of superhero films, bizarrely, or comic book
I would
films.
say so,
Sorry,
yeah.
comic book. Very different from things like Superman and stuff that had come before it. Dark, somber, serious, reflective, and a pretty good film overall. But they've got another one coming out because everything has to get remade, and it's going to star Bill Skarsgård, another one of the Skarsgårds doing stuff,
He's
being in
got
more
abs.
movies.
Come on.
Guy does have abs. Yeah, I might
Yeah.
have to mute this one because I don't know how much I can actually play without getting copyright struck. So I'll show you a little bit of the trailer because the trailer just dropped today. So I'll see if I can mute it and then go that way. Let's see. Yeah, hold on. I'll put it back a bit. There's some odd stuff in there. Especially that.
I
No,
mean,
sorry, not
well,
that
yeah,
bit. It was just that shot there. It was
Pause
weird.
right there, right?
I'll move it on past this just in case. But yeah, Eric Draven. This is him and his lovely girlfriend just before they both get murdered. Yeah, the story is, I guess, pretty familiar to anyone who knows The Crow. I'm just kind of judging it on its aesthetics at the moment compared to the first one. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer yourselves. Like I say, I have to mute it because there's soundtracks there that will probably get me copyright.
When Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, and I'll maybe just pause it and move it forward slightly.
That looks painful.
Yeah, so they both get murdered, and then he gets brought back to life. And boom, he's back. And basically, he is on a quest for revenge against the guys who murdered him and his girlfriend. And
Of course, he's got to
Beyonce, actually, like in the comics, I think it was like the night before they were due to get married.
Yeah.
It's definitely a gory one because if I skip forward a little bit,
Well, can I point out a couple things? I think it's really unique. They had a light-skinned black female character as the lead. When do you ever see that?
Never.
Indeed.
And then what are they making him into Wolverine now? I don't know. I really just hate the look. I like the actor. But this is just, better leave it alone. I don't have an interest.
Yeah.
I think because the original was so memorable for Brandon Lee's performance, like he was a tough act to follow. And this version, I don't know. Like, Bill Skarsgård's definitely got ripped for the role, which is impressive and stuff, but that doesn't necessarily make you a great candidate for the Crow. And he doesn't seem to have the look, that iconic look that Lee had for it.
Yep.
The face paint and everything and the long hair. He doesn't have that here. It's much more restrained, I suppose, if that's even the word.
Feels more modern.
Yeah. There's lots of gore. They can obviously do a lot more with special effects than they could for the 1994 movie. It's got the dark and grim aesthetic, which is exactly what you'd expect. But I don't know about this, man. It just kind of looks like a slightly trashy remake, and I'm not sure why it's needed.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we're seeing this a lot where there's films that are great and still great. You can watch it right now and they're great, and they're like, "Oh, we're remaking this," and I'm like, "Why?"
Like the first one.
Yeah, exactly. This is a great example. Like,
I watched it last week again. It holds up.
Yeah, it's weird. It just doesn't really make sense.
It does feel like though that it's just one of many IPs. You're like, oh, they finally got around to that, huh? Yeah, makes sense, I guess.
Another one.
Like Roadhouse. It was like, did anyone expect them to do Roadhouse? And you're like, oh, there it is. I guess
that's coming out soon.
Yeah, I mean, this is when you get to that point where you've remade all of the big things that most of us remember from back in the day, and you're at that point where it's like, we're gonna have to start going after the obscure stuff.
Always ask Chris, because it seems like Chris, you know a lot about the film industry. Like, I read an article saying that because of Brandon Lee's death, they had to change a lot of stuff from the original Crow film, and they had extensive reshoots and CGI. That this has potential to follow the comic a lot more, because eventually the first Crow movie started straying away from the comic because of Brandon Lee's death. I don't know how true that is, but Chris is like, he has so much extensive knowledge of film history. I figured he might know if like the Brandon Lee version is so much straight from the source material. I don't know, but
I mean, I'm not familiar with the Crow comic. I just remember how brilliant that movie was.
Well,
there were so many great lines, and Brandon Lee's tragic. I do think it does make it a little heavier when you see a film where the person on screen has passed away tragically. I think that was the case with Heath Ledger's Joker. That was 100% the case with that. I think it added more weight to The Dark Knight in 2008. So, and the same thing with The Crow, because it was such a needless death with Brandon Lee. And also Bruce Lee is so beloved. If you know anything about his career and his life, Bruce Lee is a legend. So this is just a cash grab of an IP. That's the way I see it. It's very fancy looking. It has a very well lit. It's got the goth, whatever. I'm sure at Hot Topic there'll be a t-shirt. I'm just saying it looks soulless to me. And that's Brandon Lee version.
I'm just comparing them there. I actually, like, when I was at Comic-Con, I think in Tampa, I got a chance to interview James O'Barr, who wrote the Crow comics for a panel event.
Wow.
So he consulted heavily on the film, and he was pretty happy with the version that they produced back in 94.
Okay.
So I would kind of have to assume that it's pretty accurate to the comics.
Yeah.
With this one, I don't know what level of involvement he had, if any. Like, whether it's just the rights have been reused and, like, I don't know, he doesn't have creative control anymore or what. But it just, when I see this version compared to, I can't bring him up again.
Yeah, the makeup looks like weird. It's not.
Yeah, it's just
eyeshadow. Brandon Lee's whole face was like a mime. That was a joke.
That just looks like, I don't know, the Jared Leto Joker compared to the Heath Ledger one. I don't know.
That's a good comparison.
I did read that Brandon Lee wasn't the first choice, but Brandon Lee read the comics. Remember when actors did this homework, and Brandon Lee was rehearsing actual lines from the comics to him, and he's like, "Wow, I'm impressed that he actually read all the comic books." and that's what Brent Lee got the role for. It's like I love this comic. I want to be in it, and cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I must admit, I'm not loving this. It doesn't feel like a movie that needed to be remade, and I don't think they're going to improve on it. And yeah, I think it's probably going to be falling victim to just remake-itis. Like, it's just another movie that's getting recycled because it's available, the IP's available.
Almost like Roadhouse.
Yeah. I mean, what's your, like, anyone got any, like, I don't know,
Opinions
optimism
on
for
that,
something?
or-
No, for Roadhouse, yeah. Like, any chance that it might be halfway
Optimism.
decent or what?
Jake Gyllenhaal's got abs.
He does.
I mean, yeah.
And he's like one of the best actors working right now. So there's that.
Yeah.
But it does. It looks like just another generic film. There's nothing like iconic about it compared to the Patrick Swayze version.
And it's got Conor McGregor in it, and I'm not.
Oh, boy.
convinced he can
No.
act.
Wait, Conor McGregor in the movie acting?
Yes, he's the
Oh
bad
my
guy.
God.
Yeah, he's the baddie.
Well, I guess they were pissed off because it was supposed to have a theatrical release. Now it's on Amazon Prime, and they filmed it with the expectation to be in theaters, and Amazon changed their mind, and that really pissed off the production company and director. So now it's on Amazon only.
Damn, that is
Yeah,
that kind of
PTSD.
sucks. That's always got to suck when your movie gets bumped to a streaming service.
Yeah, really.
Just before we move on, I know that Chris, you're pretty much out of time here.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, what is it you're going to go? Are you off to a premiere?
I'm
evening?
off to see the American Society of Magical Negroes. I almost said the Magical Society of American Negroes. The terrible. That would also be an awful film. So yeah, I'm off to see that movie because I'm going to review it on Film Threat livecast tomorrow.
Nice.
Should be fun. But I got to say thank you for having me on. Sorry I got triggered on the game stuff.
Oh no, Chris,
I want to say a shout out to Thought Gaze in the chat. My first video game I ever played, my dad took me to work and I played a text-based Star Trek game, and it was just text-based.
Really?
And I just remember being so excited when it just said you have left dry dock. And I played a text-based game way back when. So yeah, no, I don't consider myself a gamer. I'm a casual gamer, but I have loved video games since I was a kid. A lot of games have even, I could say, changed my life. Love stuff like BioShock, like a lot the games that just had amazing scores that feel like almost a movie experience, but you're controlling the movies. So, there's crossover there. And but cinema's my first love. Games would probably be third. Second would be Sydney Sweeney's breasts. So wait, where am I ranking these? I don't know.
They should be first in any man's list.
Yeah.
Really. I mean,
But
come on.
look, Sydney Sweeney and her success, which is exciting, that's Hollywood is back, baby. Let's focus on what people like.
Yeah.
We like women who are attractive, and we like seeing them in movies. And that movie, whatever you think about that movie, Anyone But You, it's fine. It's okay. But it's the type of movie Hollywood would have made 10, 20 years ago, and no one would have batted an eye. And it was made for almost nothing, and it was profitable, and it was through her production company. Because there are people I have met in the industry or actors who know what the audience wants. They know it.
You're right.
Tom Cruise is one of those people. Tom Cruise is like, it's my honor to entertain you. This is his attitude. He lives as a person who's grateful for the life he has, and he should be. So, I think that it's the tide's turning for sure. And I think if you know people who work below the line in the industry, they're all pretty based and they're pretty apolitical and don't care. It's only this sampling of people who are actors who feel they need to align with a certain political, a side of the political aisle and show fealty to certain ideas in order to stay working. It's pathetic. And of course, I'm talking about Mark Ruffalo. So he's the one that kind of embodies all of that. He's just awful. And but thanks for having me on the show. Sorry I couldn't stay longer. I got messed up on the time thing.
Yeah.
Bloody daylight savings. No, thank you, Chris. I appreciate the time that you've given us. So
That's
what's going on, man?
All right, I'll be back for sure. And thanks again for having me. Take care, everybody. Later.
See you, dude.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
It's funny, just when you were mentioned, like Chris talking about gaming there, right? I had a quick look at IGN and that article that they covered there for Resident Evil 5, and I was curious about their Twitter profile, right? Because they've got 10 million followers on Twitter.
Really? Wow.
Right. And if I just look through their most recent posts, they get 77 likes, 187, 84. Oh, 300. That was one about Sydney Sweeney.
Some big numbers there.
Yeah, they purchased their following. I mean, I've seen the same thing with when you looked at GameStop, for example. Their Twitter has over a million, like a couple million followers, baby, and there's tweets that get less than 10 likes. And the same thing with their YouTube. Their YouTube would just randomly out of nowhere in one day get 20,000 subs with 0 views happening. So they're just trying to purchase a following so they look more substantial in social media.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to think companies like that, they cannot be making money anymore. You know, they have got to be like circling the drain at this point. Yep. And I'm totally fine with that. Like, by all means, circle a little bit faster. Just
curious, did you have any feelings about the Fallout trailer? Because that came out.
Oh, yeah. I wish I had it like ready to go, but
I mean, it's on Amazon. It looks expensive. That's all I can say. It looks expensive.
I think the showrunner has said some worrying things about not wanting to stay authentic to the games. His attitude seems to be, you'll never please the fans, so why bother even trying?
That's always a good sign.
Yeah, we definitely didn't see that with Top Gun Maverick. Where if you actually tries to please the fans of the previous film, they just won't come and see it anyway and give it raving reviews. No, definitely not.
Yeah,
it's a weird one as well because it feels like the Fallout games should be relatively easy to adapt. It's a pretty like cinematic kind of world. If you can nail that retro futuristic look, if you can nail the dark, sense of humor to it, you'll make bank because that's what the fans are looking for.
You're right.
It's like Book of Eli. I mean, that's like a Fallout movie that's not even a Fallout. Right? Yeah. It's just make it post-apocalyptic, make it like Mad Max or something. Maybe without the cars, and there you go. You have Fallout, but it's going to be. I mean, the main now look, I have not kept up with any of this, so I might be talking out of my ass, but I saw images of the trailer and it's just like this young, pretty woman that's like walking around outside.
Exactly.
I'm like, I don't really know. I don't really know because if you look at the Book of Eli, for example, young, pretty women are going to have one role and one role only in the post-apocalyptic world, and that is to be a fleshlight. So I don't really understand.
He's not wrong.
I mean, no, that's what the Book of Eli was very accurate when it came to that. Having I don't know if the girl's gonna be the main protagonist or whatnot, and she's gonna be walking around doing stuff. I don't know. It seems a little silly, but we'll see, I guess.
There's a poster that I'm going to bring up here that I think again worried me slightly. I'll see if I can show it to you because it's it just didn't really seem to embody the spirit of the game. Let's see. All right, here we go.
I love Walton Goggins. Just gotta say it.
I mean, I do. As an actor, I think he's great, but even a great actor can't save it necessarily. Yeah, so there it is. That's the look they've gone for.
Oh boy,
and I am not loving that. That does, as people said, like Saint Rasmus here, it all looks so clean.
They have bottle caps though.
It looks kind of silly, and the only saving grace is Walter Goggins. Like I love him and everything he does, but like I don't know. It just seems like I mean you have the white woman, which I don't know how white women keep getting away with being included. You have every advantage that me and Drinker have. What is wrong with you? And then you have the white woman, and then you have the black guy, and then of course the white guy is just looks like a burn victim. So and he's obviously going to be like the morally corrupt character, the bad character, but.
Well, he's a ghoul.
He's a ghoul. Well, yeah, he's a ghoul. He's a ghoul.
So in the world of Fallout, they're looked down on as terrifying, like mutants, which they are. But yeah, it's like when I look at this, you've got the bottle caps, you've got the dog. If you look at the bottom left, you've got the pit boy. It's just like, it's like they've taken like what's the most recognizable things, like the most recognizable objects and pieces of iconography from the game, and just throw it in. But like the tone and the look of it just looks so inappropriate for Fallout.
Yeah, almost like Borderlands. Boy, that's another trailer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that.
Seeing Kate Blanchett and Jack Black. Oh boy.
Yeah. Here we go, making crap again.
Well, it's like you said, Drink, before, like, the video game industry has a billion stories you can make, but the problem is they're not making it well. I don't want to see Kate Blanchett play a character that should be in her 20s from the video game.
No, it's a weird choice.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going for with that, and I don't think it's going to be anywhere good.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, it reminds me of just the poster reminds me of this one show that I tried watching a little bit. What was it called? Sweet Tooth. It was called Sweet Tooth, and it was about these kids that
Amazon.
Yeah, they were like kids that were kind of like somehow had like animal DNA, and they were like had these hybrids, and it was post-apocalyptic, right? And every episode got worse and worse for me, anyway. Where it's like a little kid walking around the woods and somehow not getting just killed immediately or abused in some way, shape, or form, and like there's this group of bandits that are like kicking the shit out of everybody, and they're all like 12-year-old kids, and I'm like, how are all these little kids like ruling the post-apocalyptic world? The 200-pound dude would come into the little kid camp and break all their necks immediately. Like, what is happening? It's so silly, man.
Well,
Like,
the kids are animals. They have animal DNA. They're above human strength. Remember, Sweet Tooth is half deer. So
yeah, I don't know. It just seemed a little weird, and I don't know. It didn't feel very. It was post-apocalyptic without feeling very post-apocalyptic. Like they go to this lodge that looks like it's in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and there's just this nice family that just lives there. And I'm like, wait, why has no one broken and killed him? And then, of course, at the end of the episode, they break in and like try to kill everybody.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, how did this not happen just now? Until now, how did it take this long for people to not see a cabin with lights on, with all these resources in the cabin, and they're not going in there and just like breaking everybody's neck and taking all their stuff? I was like, this is weird. So I had to stop watching it because it just seemed a little silly to me.
Well, Netflix they greenlit one more season, so we have one more season.
Oh,
Sweet Tooth. Yep. Why wouldn't they for?
No, to be fair, I like the premise of it. I actually really enjoyed the premise of it. It's just it was a little silly for my taste, and I feel like that might be the direction they're going with the Fallout. Like it takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, but it's not exactly post-apocalyptic. It's cuddly fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna make a Fallout TV show, it needs to be gritty and brutal and actually depict what a post-apocalyptic world would look like. And I feel like that's definitely not gonna be the case.
Yeah,
I think you might be right.
Yeah, the dirty, grungy people, surviving on scraps, eating cockroaches, things like that. Like it should be, yeah.
Rad roaches. Yeah.
Hey, Drinker, we haven't talked about it at all. I'm curious because I think you've seen it now. The Gentleman TV show.
I've seen the first few episodes, so I haven't finished it yet.
Right.
I'm alternating between that and Shogun, and very much enjoying them both.
You're watching Shogun finally?
Yes, yeah. I'm 3 episodes in, so I'm almost caught up. So I got one more to go to catch up, and my goodness, that's a good show. I've enjoyed it more and more with each one.
Is it fair to say Shogun's like a Japanese Game of Thrones? That's how I rate it, but
kind of feels like it, yeah.
Kind of.
And I like the fact as well, like you're never lost in it. You totally understand what the various factions are, what they want. Their decision making generally is logical, and you understand what they're trying to accomplish. So you can follow what's happening, even though you're plunged into a completely different culture.
Definitely.
But man, they love seppuku. Like they gotta calm down with that. Like you speak out of turn at a meeting, and it's like suddenly you've got to carve your own guts out. Like Jesus.
And that was a 1600s. It was a different time.
Yeah.
On the other hand, The Gentleman's probably like my favorite thing in a long time. That show is very entertaining.
Really fun. It's funny as well.
Yeah.
The characters are really likable and interesting. The dialogue's razor sharp. It's just good stuff.
They have a main female character who is quite powerful, flawed, interesting, and one of the more emotional cores of the whole thing. You guys would love it.
And this comes from Netflix?
They've got a male lead who's not a useless, incompetent buffoon.
He does have a useless, incompetent buffoon of a brother, though.
He does, yeah. If it wasn't for him, like he would have been totally home free, like every episode. Just comes in and fucks everything up for him.
I'm honestly, it's the Guy Ritchie format. I talked about this, I think, on Real BBC, but the nature of having these very assertive, confident, powerful leaders in all these factions who are family with people who are absolute retards and get them in trouble and cause problems, or they hire someone who organizes their weed who's fucking smoking it, so they, fuck up in some way, shape, or form. And it's just like as the story goes on, you get higher up the chains, and then you get these really awesome actors playing these characters that you don't want to fuck with. And it was refreshing to watch. It was fun.
Nice.
Was Peter Serafinowicz in it?
Yes, first episode.
Right, yeah. I thought that was him. It's like, because I haven't seen him in anything in quite a while, and it's like, okay, right, he's looking quite old now. But then I have
He's
to
so
remind myself,
fucking awesome. It's so
he is awesome. Don't just act like a
lives so
chicken.
good.
Be the chicken.
Hey, MauLer, I heard that. So a few people I know said that it's actually better than the movie. I mean, I know it's in the same universe as the movie, correct?
Well, so as far as I'm aware, it takes place in the same universe, but you're not going to be seeing any characters from, one and the other sort of thing. So
All right.
It'll make more sense when you watch it in terms of like how you can see the Gentleman movie fitting in with the world of the show.
Yeah.
For me, I really liked the movie, but I think I prefer the show.
No, I've heard other people say that, honestly.
How many
I think
episodes are there altogether?
there's 8.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I've got plenty more
And
to
man,
enjoy.
watching Ray Winston play a gangster again, it's been a while, and he just knows what he's doing. It's surprising how people don't make him do that more often.
He gets a great intro when he's in prison.
Yeah.
It's just like a luxury resort,
Yeah, and there's always you get that snappy Guy Ritchie editing. You get all the zany characters clashing. You get the big reveals. You get the backstabbing. Like it's a fun show.
Yeah.
Easy recommendation.
It's nice to see him really on form as well.
Yeah. Well, and you've got Giancarlo Esposito. I never know if I'm pronouncing that name properly.
Yeah.
He's in it playing character that he's been cast in so many things just to stand there and be like, I'm Gus Fring, and then you're like, yeah, I got
true.
But in this, he's like an actual character, which is nice. Same goes for everybody who's involved, right? There's big old stories set in pathways, and there's repercussions for actions that you don't necessarily expect. It's all that kind of fun. If you're familiar with anything Guy Ritchie, then you'll know what you're in for, and it's
nice.
It's an easy bet.
Yeah, Drinker, you said that. It's funny on Netflix. It's like they put out the Gentleman, but then I heard Damsel was awful. So how did he? I've heard nothing but bad things.
I'm gonna check it out just out of curiosity. But
yes,
man, Millie Bobby Brown cannot catch a break. Like outside of Stranger Things, she has appeared in a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Well, who the fuck told her to star in Damsel? What? Fire the agent, Jesus!
I heard the dragon sets himself on fire because dragons are known to set themselves on fire. He's not fireproof.
Yeah. It was like when you saw the poster reveal for that and you just put out that tweet where it's like an AI prompt, like, okay, actress desperate to escape like TV show past, like completely unimaginative fantasy setting, generic female empowerment message, go. Like that's what you get.
Yeah, and the tagline was, "This is not a fairy tale." Like, shut the fuck up. God.
Yeah, she's got to kill time between Stranger Things season 5. So
it's a shame because she is a good actress. She's good at what she does. She just hasn't found that role. And then you see her in things like the fucking Godzilla movies where that's
a paycheck.
Yeah, but she's given it 100% with her performance, and I just think, why?
It was like MauLer said,
"Why are you doing this?"
King of the Monsters. You guys had Charles Dance in King of the Monsters.
Oh my god. I am General Man. I command you to move over there. All right, where's my chair?
He was playing it so serious for damn Godzilla for fighting Gordira.
Well, do you remember he was asked about his experience on King of the Monsters, and his quote was, "The catering was great."
Damn.
Well, at least the food was nice.
I mean,
that was infamous Michael Caine. Like, why did you Jaws 4 when Jaws 4 paid for my house?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, well, I haven't seen it, but I'm told it's awful. But I have seen the house that it paid for, and it's delightful.
At least you're honest.
Nice one, Michael. Should we do a few super chats?
Oh, you got plenty of them.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we got a ton of them come in here. Mr. Luca says, "What are your guys' top 3 favorite pieces of media since 2020? For me, it's God of War 5, House of the Dragon, and BCS season 5. What's BCS?
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, last season's good.
Good question. I think I pick Ragnarok as one of them. If you want to know why, we've got like 20 hours of it on EFAP. Okay, like I can't be able to explain it for the millionth time. Was Arcane? When did Arcane come out? Was that 2021?
Yeah, that's definitely since 2020. Yeah.
All right, yeah, that'll be another. I think. What else is there?
Would you put The Father up there?
That was initially released in 2019, and then I think released
right.
in other places in 2020. But I think that could count. Fuck it, I'll have that. Yeah.
Yeah, fair dues.
Good call.
Nice one.
Yeah. I'll definitely go with MauLer. Like, I think God of War Ragnarok, and then you know what? He played it too. That RoboCop video game was the best RoboCop 3 we ever got. It was
It was good fun.
Yeah.
Graphical glitches aside, it was pretty good fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And Peter Weller was giving us all.
Yeah, I'd say so. Canada Plus says, "Hail to the panel. Anyone playing Helldivers 2? I believe they are. Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody
I
keeps
am
trying to get me to
all
play it.
MauLer, play it.
I've played a shit ton of it.
Really? I haven't seen you stream it.
I haven't streamed it at all. I'm like a
Oh,
level 26, I think now.
I said 30 last night, man.
Played it a bit with Rags, and he's getting like to the point where he knows exactly how to kill everything down to individual bullets and weapons. And he's already in the sort of routine of being like, the next patch needs to up this, down this, move that there, move this. That I'm just like, yeah.
You know, the good thing is, Drinker, it's the best Starship Troopers game we ever got, and the popularity of Helldivers 2, Starship Troopers is trending again on all social media platforms and streaming services because of Helldivers 2.
Good.
Oh yeah. I think even Casper Van Dien weighed in on this, saying like, oh, he'd happily do like a commercial for Helldivers as Johnny Rico.
I've never had more fun watching my friends get brutally murdered. It's perfect.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Watch people get exploded is funny.
Yeah.
What I would say as well about, because I saw this, but I think it got deleted and people were starting to speculate. Someone said something like it'd be awesome if Casper Van Dien and whoever else were able to do this, that, and the other with Starship Troopers, and he quote tweeted it with desire to know more intensifies, and then he
that's
deleted
what I
it.
said.
He deleted it though.
Oh, okay.
And people were speculating. I wonder if maybe it was just like, I shouldn't like self promote or something, or if it was because maybe there's something happening, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Who knows?
Good point.
I think there might be.
I mean,
honestly
it would be the easiest. What's funny about Helldivers, for anybody who's played it, there could be Tremors DLC, Aliens DLC, fucking obviously Starship Troopers DLC. And people would buy the hell out of it.
Yeah,
you get the accurate sounds, you get like voice packs, and then you get specific missions and stuff. Yeah, people would love it.
Imagine taking a pulse rifle from Aliens into like Starship Troopers. You could have a blast.
Yeah, right now they're working on a third faction. So they've got 6 months of content planned out. It's doing so well, and they didn't expect this to happen. It's like what, 10 guys in the server room and like 500,000 players. Like, we didn't expect this to happen, guys. Like, damn.
Yeah, and obviously people are saying like Terminator, Warhammer, Dune. Like, you can get all of them in there. Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly.
Spread democracy all over the galaxy.
Yes.
Tyler Wolf says, if this was on tomorrow, this would make a good birthday present. Good to see you on again, Blue Collar.
Thanks, Tyler. Love him.
Cheers, man. Dark Hour says, to whom it may concern, by the time you read this, I will be viewing American Society of Magical Melanin Abundant Individuals just to see how bad it is. Well, I hope it's better than you expect, I guess, that you don't waste your money on a bad movie, but let us know. Metal Face Rosie says, ever see the Cinema Snob movie, the Forgotten Channel Awesome movie? Brad's ex-wife gets topless in it. What?
I know Cinema Snob. He was one of the Channel Awesome people. Yeah, like they've said. I don't think I ever saw. I didn't even know he made a movie. But so yeah, no. Like, I think that's a no from the four of us.
Fair enough. TGV Monster. Okay, it's time to choose. Who is the ultimate Resident Evil Chad, Chris or Leon?
Chris.
My money's on Chris because he's Boulder punching.
Leon isn't punching Boulder.
I'd probably say it is Chris, but still, like, I prefer Leon. Like,
Leon's the cool kid option, isn't he?
Yeah. The only thing that changes everything for me is, Chris has always been the Chad, like punching boulders. That's all good.
Something he does.
I can give you 2 examples for why I love Leon, but he's a bitch. Leon falls in love with Ada in the course of 2 hours from just talking to her once. She never says anything sexy. She just says, "I'm looking for the G virus," and he's like, "I love you." And then when she falls off the thing, he's like, "Ada!" And he's like crying and shit. And like, what? You don't even know this lady.
Yeah, but she's hot. Okay,
It is true. It is true. And then there's another instance of Leon being really annoying. In Resident Evil 4, at the end, the entire game, Ashley's like what? She's like this 19-year-old president's daughter, like thin, annoying little girl. The entire game, she's running around, Leon, help, being annoying. And then at the very end, he's riding on his jet ski, and she's like, hey, Leon, if you want to like pound my pisser, you can. And he's like, nah. And I'm like, what? You hate smash her right now. What are you talking about? How you fall in love with Ada and then you won't smash Ashley at the end of freaking 4? No,
you got morals.
Chad would have punched
be
her
fair,
so hard, bro.
Yeah, to be fair, Chris has partnered up with Jill Valentine, and he's never smashed that either. So come on, Chris,
Yeah.
what you
Gentleman,
doing?
right?
I bet he has.
Exactly.
I'm gonna Google it. Googling it.
That's some DLC.
Yeah, I'll download it. JS Pena says, I'm actually glad Godzilla won an Oscar.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Fuck yeah.
it's good that it won. Yeah, I just think it's fantastic that a movie. The VFX budget on that was probably like a couple of $1 million at most.
Remember that the director
And
said
it beat out the best of Disney.
Remember the director's like, he's like, I wish I had 15 million. Who's lying? I didn't get 15 million for a film.
It's impressive what they were able to do. He also says, also pray for Olivia Munn. She has breast cancer.
Really?
Wow.
Does she
As far as
really?
I know, she's gotten through it. She said she only wanted to announce it once she was past it all. She's okay,
okay.
I think.
No, that's good. I'm glad she's all right. Master of Puppets says, Hail Drinker, after seeing you and Gary with peers, I rewatched Rocky Balboa. Man, that speech with his son is so good, especially after Barbie's Woe is me, give me a participation medal.
Oh my god.
That was
I
a
know, like-
surreal video to watch, by the way. You two on Peter's book. Yeah,
I didn't
the
fully believe it
format
was
is so
happening.
different than all of our panel shows. Like the way that he does it, you just be like drinker, then you'll be like you'll pick up, and he's like, and then he just starts talking about something that could seemingly be random, and then right then you'll just come to like, so opinions on Barbie. You're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I can do that.
It's like you very much have to like be constantly tuned in because you've got no idea what he's going to ask you next, and he makes it very clear when it's your turn to speak. And so it's not like this where it's just a free for all and anyone can pipe up. It's very much you wait your turn. Once Pierce is done, he'll ask you a question, and then off you go. But hey, for what it was pretty fun. Especially to be comparing Rocky movies with him.
It's kind of surprising how well balanced it was and how many topics were discussed considering the time. Because that if he says like, what's your favorite movie, he's clocking you. You're like, you better finish up.
Yeah, you better have some answers ready to go. I like the chick in the red dress as well. I can't remember her name.
She was fun.
She was dropping bombs throughout that whole thing. She was awesome.
Well, that's what's funny. He kept Drinker. He didn't interrupt you, but she get 2 words out. He kept cutting her off. I'm like, I want to hear more. But stop cutting her off, dude. She's got some good taste.
She was good. The other girl, I have no idea why she was there. She didn't seem to know anything about movies.
She gradually, like a third of the way in, realized, like, man, all of my opinions are hated here. It's just funny, but that's how it goes.
So painful to watch.
It was when it was like, what's your favorite Godfather movie? And she was like, I've not watched any of them, but 3.
He's like, hey, Brie, what's your favorite video game? Nintendo?
Yeah. Metal Face Rosie says, last week the guy shitting on 2001 mentioned his opinions came from Confused Matthew, who also thinks No Country for Old Men and The Lion King are objectively bad movies. We might need an EFAP on him.
Oh my god.
Do it, MauLer. Do it.
I mean, No Country for Old Men is fucking legendary, so
Yes,
I won't hear sacrilegious statements about it, okay?
I agree. John Gates says, RIP to Toriyama, the legend that taught us to train hard, study hard, rest well, and eat well. If anyone wants a wonderful classical adventure, you can't beat the original Dragon Ball. Be warned, a lot of toxic masculinity.
Ooh.
Weren't the Sweet Baby people shitting on him literally the day he died?
Yeah.
Really?
Like going on about his like representation of black characters in his stories.
Oh, the internet.
It's like
I didn't see those.
even if you've got that grievance against him, don't go into it when on the day he died. Like have a little bit of self-respect and dignity.
I see articles. I feel like it's a difference in culture. Like I see nothing but other anime guys who did Bleach, guys who did Naruto, everyone giving respect to him. And it's like, that's Japanese culture versus American culture. Yeah. If a comic book creator dies, how many people are shitting on a comic book creator? Like, well, my comic book is better. Man, so many people in Japan were like, this guy was a legend. Well,
it's almost fashionable now. Like whenever some beloved actor dies or whatever, like especially ones that have been around, for decades. you know that people just use that as an opportunity to shit on them to get some outrage.
The true legacy of this person. They actually, I met them once and they bumped into me and didn't say sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
or like,
oh,
can we take a moment to talk about the sexist comment that he made in 1962? Like,
I remember when Total Biscuit died. I was so shocked that there was so many posts about how fucking finally the monster is dead that ruined like gaming. It was, what the fuck?
Jesus
It's,
Christ.
I learned that day that no matter who you are, as soon as you're dead, the cockroaches will come out and celebrate.
You still regularly see people going after Judy Garland for that skit in like the 40s or something, which she was, forced to do, the blackface thing, and they still see it like once a day on Twitter, and they're like, "Wow, what a disgusting person." I'm like, bro, like you can't apply 2024 stuff to a 13-year-old girl in the 40s. Like,
exactly.
it just doesn't work, man.
Yeah, it's like they don't get it. It's the same thing. Like every few years, there'll be another round of outrage when people discover that Robert Downey Jr. was in Tropic Thunder.
It happens once a year. Once a year, you see it. Once a year, yeah.
Even like when Stan Lee died, I started seeing his mysterious accusations that never occurred when he was alive, but it came out after he died. Like, wait, what? Austin Stanley? Okay, sure.
Yeah. M8566 says, "Hey MauLer, what's your favorite movie, and why is it The Prestige?"
Well, what's the point of the first question?
Jesus.
I'm trying to think of, is there any place where I've explained it in like a succinct way that'd be useful to send people to? Because I need to make a video on it eventually. I just consider it incredibly meaningful as to what it has to say about the pursuit of like, I guess, achievement. Like, the prestige, right? Like the two main characters' conflict of both of them pursuing their careers in conflict with each other, but also for their own reasons of what it means to the world. It's so hard to put into words exactly why I find it to be amazing. It would take me forever if I made a video. It'd be like fucking 10 hours. But I think the script is tight as hell. It runs on 3 timelines. They all connect and reflect each other as it goes along. It's obviously what I think of Nolan's best work. I love the performances in it. Nice. I love the way that the movie introduces you to your hero almost. And as the film gradually moves on, he slowly absolutely is not the hero. And you sort of understand the story is just about people. And
wow,
there's just so many good actors in it. I don't know. Soundtrack's awesome. I love the editing. I love all of the twists and turns. It's so people like so make the video that I will one day. I swear, one day. I don't know. I adore that movie.
I've always wanted to ask you. A couple of my friends said they read the book. They said the book is god awful, and the movie is the superior version. I'm not sure if you ever read the book. So.
My plan, of course, is once I make a video on it, I'm going to read through the book. For what I gather, the book is a collection of diary entries from the characters in the movies, drawn from them to create certain things. So, as far as I know, it's very much moving from one medium to another and one format to another. So I don't know how connected they are. I don't know how faithful it is necessarily, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that's all about.
Yeah.
Joshua, your name sounds familiar. That's one of my mods there. Says, Will, now that you've acquainted yourself with some celebs, can you all do a celeb open bar with Russell Brand, Piers Morgan, and one other? That would be dope. I mean, yeah, sure. They're just hanging around waiting for me to invite
I was going to say, pop Russell Crowe in as well.
Yeah, he can come in, yeah.
I love
it's easier to remember the names because it's 2 Russells. So
Drinker. Other streams we've been on, people always say, Drinker, so why don't you have Henry Cavill on? Oh yeah, he's begging me on my show.
I could just pick and choose from the cream of the crop of celebrities. They're just waiting for me. But yeah, it'd be nice, but I don't think it'll happen anytime soon. Cold Brew says, question for Chris Gore. Oops. Were you close with Adam Sessler? I loved X-Play more than Attack of the Show, and it was a shame to see how far Adam Sessler has fallen. I loved watching his game reviews on Rev3 Games. Yeah, I'm sure I asked Chris about this myself once. Apparently, Adam Sessler was pretty cool back in the day. He was pretty chill. I think it's only in later years that, events outside of gaming just kind of broke his brain and he never really recovered from it.
Yeah.
Do not check his Twitter.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. God, he's an angry man.
Yes, he is.
John Gates says, for a whole generation, that man showed us to welcome challenge with a smile and excitement because it was an opportunity to improve. If any of you fellas haven't seen Dragon Ball, never a better time to check it out. So yeah, that's definitely not a reference to Adam Sessler. Welcome challenges with a smile. M8566 says, "Hey Drinker, just curious, do you do any ghostwriting? On an unrelated note, when do you think A Song of Ice and Fire will be finished?" Well, to answer your second question, not within George's lifetime, and possibly not even within mine at this rate. Yeah, we'll be very lucky if he gets Winds of Winter actually finished and released while he's still with us. No way is he going to do A Dream of Spring in his lifetime. He's too old now. As for me, the closest I've come to ghostwriting was co-writing a book with James Patterson. It was like a novella, and it was just part of a series that they'd done, and my publishers got in touch and asked me if I would be interested in doing it. And I said, yeah, sure, I get to work with James Patterson. And it turns out I did not work with James Patterson. I wrote 99.9% of that book, and then I think his editor made a few minor changes, and then out it went. But that's what you sign up for, I suppose, when you work with a big name like him. I just think it's weird that he's basically like a publisher rather than an author now. It's like his name gets slapped on books, but he's got no real input into them. Strange way of making a living, but yeah, okay. Kevin O'Neill says, "Cheers, lads. Unrelated, but I just watched Devil's Advocate for the first time, and I've got to ask, what movie or show contains your favorite depiction of the devil and why?" Constantine, I think.
Yeah, Constantine. Yeah. There you go.
Constantine's pretty cool, yeah.
Peter Stormare is really good.
Yeah.
I like the show Lucifer because it died on Fox and Netflix brought it back, and man, he is so good as Lucifer.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of others. Was
Supernatural had Lucifer.
There's probably countless. We could be here all day, I guess.
Yeah, that one.
LC Le Pen. "Cheers, open bar. I've recently become a clip shorts guy for some YouTubers, but trying to keep edits fresh with a higher output is challenging. Any advice on avoiding an editor's rot with stale tricks?" I don't know, man. You could be asking the wrong guy here. I tend to fall back on some old favorites quite a lot. Yeah, I don't know. Like, from your point of view, MauLer, obviously you do a ton of editing on your videos. Like, anything you can do to try and keep it fresh or avoid just using the same style or the same jokes or whatever.
If you, in that vein, I mean, there's a lot of things, right? So one, if you can break up your process into a couple of different ones so that when one becomes monotonous, you can move on to another, that can sometimes, so, if you've got to cut audio and then cut visuals on top, it's like you're getting bored. I find cutting audio to be the most boring part, especially when I've got 3 takes and I'm just like, which one's the best one? This one, cut that out, move the next one. However, everyone edits. That's just the process I find to be the worst. I usually play music with it, which, by the way, is not a great idea because you need to catch mistakes. But what I do, obviously, is once it's done, listen to it all cleanly and just make sure it's working. With finding clips, for example, for maybe jokes or just references, I've got YouTube videos running in the background. So that's my way of staying sane, because these videos are a nightmare, the super long form, highly edited ones. But then, of course, there's just a matter of if you change your format in general to be faster, to be less monotonous in general for creation. That's always an option as well. As for being able to create new jokes, I can't really help you other than maybe just watch some comedy stuff, be it stand-up comedy shows, whatever. Try and find some inspiration, not copy jokes, just see how jokes are formed and see if you get inspired in any way, shape, or form. A lot of the jokes I have and other people have is just taking clips from other things and playing them at the right time, right? Like, I watched The Death of Stalin for the first time recently, 2017 film. I hadn't seen it before. There's a fucking clip that I was like, oh, this is going to one of my videos at some point, of Jason Isaacs saying, "Now I'm laughing, but I'm very fucking furious."
Yeah. Every line of his is pure gold.
Yeah,
I love
he's
him.
great. So I was like, I'll save that because it'll come in handy.
Well said.
Yeah. Waylon Bucephus says, "Dial of Destiny or Suicide Squad kill the Justice League?"
Jesus Christ.
To what? To like consume again? Because it would be the shortest one, which in that case is pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, that was my thinking, basically. So yeah, I think that makes sense. LC Le Pen, "I recently learned there's a Beetlejuice 2 coming out in September. I haven't heard mention of it. Thoughts on the first, and if there's hope for this one?" Yeah, because they've got the same cast coming back, haven't they? They got Winona Ryder. They got
except Alec Baldwin.
Yeah,
yeah,
might be in jail by then.
No, I guess he was acquitted.
Isn't he in another dealing with another thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I know
Whenever-
he's in trouble again, but
Oh God, yeah.
yeah, I can't imagine he'll be back.
But
yeah,
it is Jenny Ortega, so that's some kind of hope, I guess.
yeah, she's like your go-to, person for this sort of thing. I suppose.
Yeah.
Creepy. But yeah, like in terms of like thoughts on the movie itself, I have no idea. Like coming back after so long, I'm gonna get like Ghostbusters Afterlife vibes.
Yeah, dude.
I think maybe a bit of a cash grab sequel.
Yeah, like even if it's
hopefully.
good, even if it's acceptable, I think we're all gonna be like, but why?
Yeah.
Just-
I mean, I don't like Drinker said before. Michael Keaton is like 72 now. With the makeup, you probably can't tell a difference. But like, yeah, why did you wait 45 years for a sequel? For
It's an odd one.
Yeah.
And yeah, in terms of your feelings on the first movie, like for me, I'm like, yeah, it was fun to watch like once or twice. I don't ever feel really compelled to rewatch it or anything. It's just like a weird, quirky, like horror comedy from a long time ago. I don't know. I just never got that much out of it. I'm certainly not desperate to see another one.
I agree.
What's this one? Yeah. So Metal Face Rosie says, "Does Spike Lee actually have any good movies?"
Yeah.
yes.
I like Inside Man. That's a good film.
Yeah.
I've won Denzel Inside Man.
Bring me the list. I want
That's,
to see them all.
I mean, he got game, I guess.
Yeah. So we've got big one. So okay. Jesus, 130.
I don't think I've
that.
seen any of these.
Holy shit!
That is he has made a lot of stuff. Fucking hell.
I just think Inside Man had a very good twist ending, but that's all I can remember about Inside Man.
Yeah. He did the Old Boy remake.
Yeah, that's way better than the Japanese version.
Oh.
I love hearing MauLer groan.
No. Fair. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to find the next one here. It is Michael Brocky. I'd like to thank my terrible childhood, Robert Downey Jr. 2024. That was a pretty good one. Yeah. Mr. Taco Boutique says, finally started the acclaimed The Bear. 4 episodes in, and man, the show is really tightly written and great characters. Have any of you seen it? The Bear.
Very good show.
I need to see it, apparently.
It's on Hulu. It's all about chefs. It's like Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah, haven't seen things like Boiling Point and stuff. I'd be interested to watch it.
No, that's good show.
We need to see. Have you seen the TV show Boiling Point yet, for Drinker?
No, it's out, isn't it? They have.
Apparently, it is. Yeah, I need to find that.
Is it the same actors?
As far as I'm aware, yeah, it might even be like full on same production. I'm not sure because obviously Boiling Point was very impressive. So, be curious to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd want to see a TV version of that though. Do you really want to spin something like that out over multiple episodes?
Not well. That's the thing, right? I'm willing to give them a shot, see what they did, but I don't know if it's like a recreation or if it's something else.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean the original movie was just so gripping, just because you could see, you felt like you were part of it. You didn't feel like you were in a movie. You felt like you were just there because it's one continuous shot. It's just remarkable. Michael Brocky says, "Hail panel and MauLer. I finally got to watch Unforgiven for the first time, and I thought it was incredible. Any other recommendations on Eastwood's work?"
Oh, fucking East. Well, where do I even begin? But I mean, like, yeah, Unforgiven is a legendary film, and everyone should see it. I feel like Drink would be better for recommending Eastwood stuff than me.
Yeah,
Grand
I don't know. Like, do I go for him as a director or an actor or a bit of both or what?
Always
the
like
top of the tier, the cream of the crop, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, I always had a soft spot for Pale Rider. I thought that was a fantastic Western. Like, obviously overshadowed by Unforgiven, which was just a couple of years later, but I loved it. I always struggle with $1 Million Baby because I recognize it's a good film, but my God, it's a depressing one to watch.
Yeah, it is. It's a tough one.
Something about Hilary Swank, I don't know. But Gran Torino's my favorite.
Gran Torino's a really good one. Yeah, I like that.
Get off my lawn.
I love Morgan Freeman in $1 Million Baby as well. The like the beaten down veteran boxer.
Very good.
So I think they would be some of my biggies. Yeah. I always liked, was it Heartbreak Ridge as well? I thought that was a good one. That's just definitely not an artsy, like worthy kind of movie like Unforgiven, but a good, fun sort of action movie from back in the 80s. I liked him in that. Mr. Luca says, MauLer, thoughts on In-Betweeners?
Yeah, I really liked it. I can't remember which seasons were better or worse as they went along, right? I think was it a 4-season run with 2 movies? I'm trying to remember. But when it first came out, that was just, if you were the right age in Britain, you were watching that shit, guaranteed. So it's funny as fuck. There's some jokes in it that to this day are still absolutely hilarious. I probably would recommend it. It's just like a teen comedy in school for British people, basically.
Yeah. Some people mentioned as well when they were talking about Eastwood movies, Letters from Iwo Jima. That is
wow.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Escape from Alcatraz. So that was a pretty fun movie. I did like that.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
What is that one? I don't know how to say this. Penti Pastuli says, watched Holdo maneuvers, preferred Giamatti as Rhino. Okay.
What?
Sure.
That's
they mean holdovers. Yeah, because
they've typed it as Holdo maneuvers. All those one word.
You like Giamatti's Rhino? Oh my god.
But yeah, no, that's good shit. I recommend Holdovers, by the way. That I was impressed with that as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean it did pretty well at the Oscars as well. Like it was well regarded. RRTNZ says, "Hail team, great to see Blue Collar back. Well, we now have proof that the Crow never needed a remake. Shogun is great, well made, and quite faithful to the books. MauLer is right about Serenity. Excellent film.
Yeah,
I love Serenity. I'm gonna make Drinker watch that with me at some point.
Again, you haven't watched Serenity yet?
Nah.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, back in the day, but not not recently.
Fantastic film.
Says also there was once a street named after Chuck Norris. They had to change the name because nobody crosses Chuck Norris and lives. Perfect. The Big Dog says, would you ever consider a professional interview with other YouTubers like DSP? Just watched your videos with Jericho and Crow and you'd be great at it. I'm not sure I'd put DSP in the same category as Russell Crowe.
True.
Call me crazy on that one, but I don't know what I could get out of somebody like DSP. I'm not sure even what I'd want to talk to him about. It's like, so you're a lol cow. Okay. How's that working out for you?
That sounds like a good 45-minute interview.
Yeah. It's like, I lump him in with guys like Boogie. What would I say to him? I feel like I just come away from that like manically depressed.
Just keep drinking.
Yeah, I've had shows with Boogie before back in the day, and he just tells crazy, insane stories, and you just let him talk for 2 hours, and that's pretty much the show.
Yeah, I mean,
nice,
fair dues.
You watch his documentary?
Oh yeah. It was fucked up.
It was oof.
It was the first time that he's ever been portrayed like how he actually is in real life. Because when you see him behind a camera, he has like 2 different characters. But I've met him several times in real life, and he is not the same guy. He is a completely different guy. It's weird. In real life, he's like intentionally offensive and almost like a different character. It's weird, actually.
It was weird in the documentary as well. At one point, like the filmmaker straight up like stops the documentary and just says, like, this is depressing as fuck. Like I need to do something else.
Oh my god.
I needed a break from Boogie.
Yeah. I have to watch this now.
Normie says, One Life is finally releasing in the US this weekend, and of the Drinker's recommendation, I'll be seeing it on Friday. Cheers, everyone. That is mental. A movie that came out like last year, and it's only just getting released in the US.
I'll be even honest, in Britain, like I probably wouldn't have heard of it if not for Drinker mentioning it. And I was like, okay, I'll go watch it. And yeah, that's a good fucking movie.
Drinker, what is it? I never heard of it.
Well, it's Anthony Hopkins, and it's a true story about a guy who worked during World War II to help Jewish children escape from Poland.
Wow. Okay.
Before the war broke out. So like obviously the Nazis were starting to crack down on them and their families, but they were able to get a lot of them out diplomatically. And he was ultimately responsible for saving like 300 or 400 of them.
Oh my god!
And nobody really knew about it. It kind of got forgotten about after the war until he was an old man and he was invited on a TV show called That's Life. It was a big thing in the UK, and like they had everyone in the audience. Turns out they were all either children that he'd helped rescue. They were grown up by that point, like they were middle-aged people by that point, and they all came there to thank him. Like none of them would even be there if it wasn't for him. So it was a very touching moment, and it was a real life event. So
it's something that you all recommend it then?
Easy, yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's it gets you right in the feels, so it does, and it's it's nice to be reminded every once in a while there's actually good people in the world. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesse George says, "Congratulations on your interview with Piers Morgan. You handled the interview very well." Well, I tries my best. Thank you. Cordelia Conqueror says, "Drinker and MauLer, thank you for best wishes on the catch-up stream. My surgery was a success. Still in hospital, but hope to get home soon." Oh, thank you for giving us that update. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing well, and here's to a full recovery for you. So thank you for letting us know. Hayseed TV says, "Who would you want to direct in a new Star Trek film? Or sorry, who would you want to direct it? Villeneuve, Nolan, Tarantino, or Sydney Sweeney's boobs?" Well, that's the answer's obvious, really. Tarantino, and the others are going to have to wait. Next is Mega Spidey Man. "It's my birthday Saturday. I'll be 30 years old. To all, best and worst film from the year you were born and why those?" Ooh, okay.
It's hard.
So pretty sure it's Jurassic Park is the good one for me, but worst film from '93. Ooh, never thought about it.
It's not 81.
I'm trying to find anything. I don't.
So, 83. That would have been when Return of the Jedi came out. So,
oh man, I will say,
Scarface
Groundhog Day came out in '93 as well. Groundhog Day versus Jurassic Park. That's not fair.
Damn.
There's a lot of good movies, man. Hard to Kill came out in '90. Total Recall came out in '90.
I'm 81, so Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, that's easy.
That's a good one. Yeah, you were kind of lucky that year.
What's the
worst
movie?
Worst movie of the year? Christ. Superman 3 came out that year.
Super Mario Brothers came out in '93.
Oh my god!
That'll be my pick.
That movie fucking baffled me as a kid.
Baffled everybody.
Yes, it did.
I'm not sure what they were going for there. Next one
I would say best for me is Days of Thunder, just because it's sentimental and I love it. And also,
I can see why you were into that one.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, and then Goodfellas is a '90s, a good 1990 movie.
Good call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, decent. Gotta2319 says, "Hail Drinker and guests, what are your thoughts on the bike riders? Austin Butler and Tom Hardy are leads, and I like them both as actors, though I've heard some people accuse Tom Hardy of overacting, whatever that means." I haven't seen the bike riders actually, so I don't know about that one.
It looks like basically Tom Hardy doing Sons of Anarchy. That's the trailer. So it looks interesting. Tom Hardy's definitely doing Tom Hardy accent. It's Tom Hardy with a motorcycle club, smoking cigarettes and doing an accent. It seems interesting.
I can sort of get the whole, like, he's a bit of an overactor because he does give it the beans in a lot of his scenes, so yeah.
Well, like Venom and Bronson, if you watch them, then
with Venom too.
I don't know why, right? I always felt like he kind of overacted in Peaky Blinders as well.
Really?
I don't know if it's just because he's tearing the arse out of the accent that he's doing or what. I'm not sure what it is. It just feels like it's a bit too much, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be going nuts on that one. It just always stood out for me whenever I saw him.
Yeah.
Anakin Sims says, "Hello, everybody. Can't wait to see the movie Drinker. With Battlefront getting released today, what is everyone's favorite Star Wars game?" Great work. Thank you.
That's had a rocky release, by the way.
Yes, it has.
Steam users are furious. The server limits, glitches, bugs, and running problems. Like, we'll see. I've seen a lot of people say, like, can you wait a sec, because Helldivers 2 had a similarly like rocky launch, so to speak. So we'll have a look in a week's time, whatever. As for favorite Star Wars game, probably Battlefront 2 or Star Wars Bounty Hunter for me.
Good games.
I'll go with what MauLer said because I don't really play Star Wars games.
Oh, what a loser.
I know.
For me, it's always Force Unleashed, and I wish Sam Witwer would get the recognition he deserves. But we should have got a live action Force Unleashed movie, but we never will. So
Sam Witwer was just like Peter Serafinowicz.
Yeah.
I always fuck up the name, but they're both these people who've been around forever doing amazing work.
I love seeing interview Sam Witwer. He was correcting Dave Filoni on Star Wars lore when they were filming, and he was doing Darth Maul. Like Sam Witwer, he knows more than George Lucas does about Star Wars. It's disturbing.
I would prefer him being in charge than Favreau or Filoni. I'm not even kidding.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
I'd be fine with that. Stephen DeLeon says, Drinker, MauLer, As, and Gundam Helldivers 2 stream when?
Come
I'm
on,
up for
MauLer,
that.
come on.
Yeah, I'll do it. Fuck it.
I will watch the hell out of that.
I definitely need to get like trained up on it though. I'm not just going to throw myself in on the stream for the first
But it
time.
would be funny to watch you explode over and again.
I mean, yeah, it probably wouldn't be that funny for me exploding constantly.
That's the thing, though.
Okay.
The game makes dying fun.
I could see Maul using his bait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drink
You
over
go
there, press
forward,
the button.
Drinker, I'll cover you.
Yeah.
You're going to be part of Operation Human Shield.
You're not wrong.
St. Hugo says, starting to make a side scroller based on SWI, etc. It'll be crap but fun. No yellow paint. Anyway, cheers to all. Thanks. Yeah, I love the fucking yellow paint on everything climbable.
Yeah.
Just make
Latonya-
it optional, all right? That's my take on this whole insane thing, because they keep citing retard gamers, and I'm like, okay, fine, but can you just make it so we can turn it off?
Yep.
Simple.
Do you think the design philosophy behind that is like we can't allow them to sit and just do nothing for a couple of minutes while they figure it out because they'll just turn the game off and go do something else?
Oh, yeah, absolutely that, yeah. Because like the testimonials people have been citing are, for example, Dead Space, where players were taking way too long to figure out you're supposed to shoot the limbs off, so they had it scrolled on the walls. They had more audio logs describing it. That's the changes they made. Then you have what was the other example? There's a few of just like, Portal, I think, right? In Portal, if you play it, there's a lot of scratchings in the wall for arrows. And they were like, we put them in because everyone was too fucking retarded to just look around. It's like, a lot of people say that's why the yellow paint exists. And the counter to that, which I do agree with, is there are better ways than splattering yellow paint on everything, surely. You one of the key ways is using light. You shine light on areas that are a bit more important than areas that are not. Very naturalistic way to do it. As far as I'm concerned, like if we really do need retards to be able to play, so that they're like, I don't know where to go. No offense.
Yeah, MauLer, that's no way to talk about gaming journalists. Okay.
But it would be nice if we could then switch it off, like assisted fucking navigation or something as a setting. Just knock it off.
We get that every single time another From Software game comes out. All the journalists are yelling, saying, "We need an easy mode. This is bad."
Why doesn't Elden Ring have an easy mode? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
God. Christ.
Latonya Jackson says, you guys should talk more about Babylon 5 in the future. I think some of you would really like it. For me, it was one of the greatest sci-fi shows of all time.
Fantastic, huh?
Yeah, it's not exactly a controversial opinion to say that was a really good show.
No one's arguing here.
Matt PG says, has just joined up, the Lord of the Drink. So welcome aboard as a new member. Thanks, man. Michael Batty says, Welshie, what TTS program and settings do you use for your vids? Whatever they are, they're perfect. Kills me every time. Your suicide stream was great.
Oh, they're talking about like the reading. It's the most basic one. You can Google like robot readout, text. I think it might be like Microsoft Mike or Sam or whatever. Well, it's probably not those two. It's one of the Microsoft voices. Really simple. It's nothing special. It's so not special. I don't even know the name of it. It was like default voice 1 or something. But it is funny because he mispronounces things every once in a while, which is just it could be fun.
Yeah, when it reads out tweets and stuff, it's just it's glorious. Timmy04 says favorite American comedy films. Whoa. I'm going to say Super Troopers. I love that movie.
Great, yeah, great. I would say I think it's called Hot Chick, and it's got
Rob Schneider
in it, and it's got terrible reviews. And I watched it recently because I was like, maybe it aged poorly, right? And I watched it. I was laughing so hard. I was like, God, I can't believe this is this good.
Remember the pillow fight scene?
Yeah. He just kills them. Yeah, I love it.
Would Austin Powers be considered an American comedy? It would, right?
No.
Yes.
Well, it's set in Britain, but well, no, you know what I mean.
It's American.
Yeah, you can have it. You can have it. Take it.
It's like
I'm
a
looking
cheat
forward-
answer.
I'm taking my kid this year to see the 50th anniversary of Blazing Saddles. Also,
yeah.
Oh,
it's been
okay.
50 years since Blazing Saddles. Just let that sink in.
Yeah.
Yeah. 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying Mike Myers is Canadian. Was the film made in Canada?
Oh, damn. Good question.
I actually have no idea. I assumed it was America.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Still waiting on part 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want them to do it now. Just don't think you'd be able to do it.
Mm-mm.
Chucksenhausen says, can't wait for Cobra Kai season 6 this year. Yes, this is the final season. Is it definitely coming out this year? Is it confirmed? Do we know?
They've already filmed it, you know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It was delayed by the strikes, wasn't it, last year?
Yeah.
So, hopefully. He also says, good luck, Camelot, with the stock car racing.
100%.
Thank you. You can watch it on Fox Sports 1. I think almost all the races are on Fox Sports 1 on TV. The ratings are increasing dramatically. I think it was up 182% at Phoenix from year over year as far as ratings go. It's like 500,000 concurrent viewers. So that's going to be really cool. And sponsorship opportunities are going all year long. If you have a company, throw your goofy ass company's name on there, get it on TV, and we'll make paint schemes around it. It's a lot of fun. Got a lot of big support too this year. It's been actually weird to see. So thank you.
Nice. John Gates says, any of you guys get any good signed stuff from celebs? I got Andy Serkis to sign my PS4 copy of Gollum. He was cracking up. And now I can never sell that abomination of a game. It is precious to me.
Oh my God. I don't have anything signed from anybody. I have a signed UFC figure from, what is that guy's? Forrest Griffin, that UFC fighter. I have a signed figure that I got signed by him when I went to UFC 145 or something, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think I've got Anthony Stewart Head's signature on a picture of Giles. That's it. Because I happened to catch him at a Comic-Con.
Yeah, I mean, most of mine have just been at Comic Cons. I got to meet Hayden Christensen at
really
Orlando.
That's
yeah,
cool. How
it
was
was really
that?
nice, actually.
He
They
seemed
managed
like-
to sneak me in at the end of the day when it was like they were just getting ready to pack up, so I got to talk to him for a couple of minutes.
He seems like a nice guy.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Just really chill, very polite, very accommodating. Like they didn't really have any pictures left to sign, but they managed to dig around in the back and they found one of himself, so he signed that for me. So
It's always
Yeah,
funny with
good
fan
guy.
bases. People hated the prequels, but nobody hated Hayden. It's like because they knew
Yep.
it wasn't his fault. What happened? Come on, look at that dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
I
probably
did
someone who did, but yeah, I feel like these days especially, he's like
Oh,
everyone likes him.
Yeah, and I said
Yeah.
to him, like, look, it's nice that you're kind of getting back into Star Wars again, and like you're doing
100%.
convention appearances, you're doing shows and stuff. I didn't add that they were shit shows, but
Yeah.
it's just like it's good that he's doing it at least,
Yeah.
and it's not his
Guys,
fault if he's in bad
no.
stuff like Ahsoka, but
It's like his drinker said. I do respect. I keep seeing more videos, man. The deleted scenes with him training, like, oh my god, like that guy. He put so much work into being Anakin for Episode 3. So many deleted scenes where he was just like, you can tell it wasn't CG. He did that. That guy can move that fast. It's disturbing.
well, you saw it. Yeah, you saw it in Ahsoka. Like he's still got it. Like
Well,
he's
like you said,
in
he
his
had to
40s now.
He had to slow himself down because he can still move that fast. It's great.
Yeah.
man.
It just made Rosario Dawson look so shit. in
Oh, boy.
comparison.
Yeah.
Well
You
done.
barely keep up with him.
Can't wait for season 2.
Yay, make it happen.
Don't say that more.
Laura the Red and Cerrone Almighty both joined up as new members, so welcome aboard, guys. Novictus says, we lost one of the greatest creators of our time on the first, Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, and a strong reason we watch anime in the West. R.I.P. Indeed.
Rip.
Yeah.
T1S says, have you guys heard of the Critical Gamer? You should get him on Open Bar sometime.
Hopefully.
No, he sounds like an asshole. I don't want to talk to him.
There's so much time put into that channel name too. Like,
I know I really thought about that one deeply. It was really just a routine piece of housekeeping. I had too many gaming streams and reviews kind of dotted here, there, and everywhere. I thought this is stupid. It makes more sense to just group them all in one place, and it's like a channel for that.
yeah, exactly.
So that's why I did it basically. But yeah, I don't know, it's like 23,000 subscribers in like a couple of days. So that's pretty cool. There's obviously a lot of people who want to see that stuff. And T1S also says, MauLer, when's the EFAP marketing team going to bless the world with the Fringy Copter?
look, we've covered it, but in terms of a piece of actual merch, that'd be hilarious. Like a little fucking actual like blaze of a helicopter fly around with Friggy's face on it. I don't know. Give it time, as with all projects.
Yeah. What I'll probably do is finish up round about there, I think, because we've done
2.5 hours, man.
I've done a whole bunch of super chats, and it's been awesome talking this evening. It's been great to have you guys on. Thank you, Camelot.
Yeah.
Thank you, Blue Collar Loser.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you to the always fun Chris Gore. He's not with us right now, but I'm sure he's enjoying the
Magical.
American society.
Yeah.
I won't say the rest.
Oh,
Diverse people.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you to my lovely co-host MauLer, as always.
Aw.
Thanks, man.
Oh yeah.
And cheers to everyone in chat for keeping us going and giving us so many great questions and super chats, and to my mods for doing the great job that you guys always do. Much appreciated. And, MauLer and I, we will catch up on the super chats over the weekend.
And we've got next Star Trek's on the way, right?
Oh yeah.
It is. We're going to be watching Star Trek 5 on Sunday night.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So we record it.
Now.
we
It's the bad one,
edit-
apparently.
It's Have you done any research on it or anything yet? Or are you going to?
I haven't done anything yet, so we
Okay.
shall. I definitely will save it. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's a movie.
You're in for quite an experience.
I can't wait to hear it.
Well, it's great because, like, I don't know, maybe if people are bored of us just being super positive and praising, the films that we've seen so far,
Yeah.
well, this will be a different experience, I'd imagine.
William Shatner directed it. Remember?
He did. There's a lot to talk about there, I think.
I
Looking
can't
forward
wait,
to that.
guys.
Anyway, guys, thank you for that. We'll sign off now, but that's all we got for today. So go away now.
Bye.
Get on it, Doug. On it.